Hi there, everyone. We're a little bit late at the moment, and the reason for that is trying to get my special guest up, who I can only assume is now pinging me manically. No, apparently not. We can't get hold of Simon A.C. Martin.
So I'm here instead. Hi.
So basically, that's one of the reasons we're a little bit late. We're also testing out the new hardware again. As you can see, hopefully we've got some better light over in that corner, and also been messing about a little bit with the lights up here. Let's see whether that works better. Does it? Yes, no, yes.
Kind of. Get your chat up here. You can't see what people are saying.
Could you?
She's a Mickey Mouse operation, isn't she, people?
Mickey Mouse? Not even Betty Boo.
You'll want to actually put this in.
Yeah, I will do.
Yes,
we're not even organised,
yes,
are we? I've got the essentials, so we've got gin. But yeah, basically tonight we were supposed to be getting special guest Simon A.C. Martin. Having a little bit of trouble getting hold of him. He's not answering his phone. So he's down south in London, South London. It's actually Sidcup.
He's in London town.
London. He's a geezer. But acclaimed children's author, Simon A.C. Martin. But he's also, I'm wanting to say treasurer of for Clanline, the steam locomotive. He's also an engineer for Network Rail. And he was also on, let's have a look.
You'll want to read that out.
Technically, your alarm tone is your theme song as it starts every episode.
That's from Shower Thoughts on Reddit.
Yeah. How do I change that to live chat? Is that
live chat?
That
it says live chat.
Right, sorry, Mickey Mouse organisation.
Can you not read?
So, basically, I'm just going to hit play on that. What's going on with the stream, says McBenman1. Should be all right, actually. Dundee Road, big hello to you. Chris Whittingham, hi to you. Adams Railway, hello. Combat Bunny, hi. Trains in the Garage, evening to you. Leslie Gilpin, hi. Jenny and Zoe and Simon. Well, we haven't got Simon. We are struggling tremendously. What on earth are you breaking?
I am setting up your things, your hotkeys.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Switch to C.
Goat Valley says, hi, Ham Shackleton, good evening, folks. I was starting to wonder where you got to. CSX Rensville, hello. Dundee Road, not our Jenny, she is professional. Yes, I am. That's right, everybody. It is great to have you along. I always love having your company here on a Monday on the Jenny Monday Club. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to untangle... I don't tangle these when I put them away. How do they get all so tangled?
The pixies do it.
Oh, the tangling pixies. And there's me thinking that it was the cupboard monkey. But what we're going to have to do is let's get some trains running. So this is actually the new and exciting setup that we've got here. Because essentially we can swap and change cameras. We get different views. And any minute now, you'll see a train hove into view. And there it is. Right, let's get some more going. 6026. This should... I think, yes, Simon A.C. Martin is... Let's see if this will work. So, hello, can you hear me? Apparently we have a hardware access error. Just bear with us, Simon. We're having technical issues here. Did this work when you tested it?
It worked when I tested it. It immediately stopped working the moment we actually went live.
So
let's try it again.
Simon, we're just going to try and call you now and see...
Nope, hardware access. It's now point blank refusing to let us have access to the microphone.
Why would it do that?
Because it smells.
So, Simon, if you're watching this,
bums.
We're having tremendous difficulties. When we tested it, it worked fine. As soon as we've gone live, it is refusing point blank. So, bear with us, Simon. I think we've been binged there. Let's just have a look. I'm ringing... Yeah, Simon is trying to ring me. So, I don't think he's actually...
Not even doing it. Not allowing. The best thing you could do is turn your volume right up on your phone and hope that it works.
So, Simon, can you hear me? I'm just gonna. We're having immense technical difficulty here, so I'm gonna.
No, it's not. We're having a lot of problems. Guys, can you hear Simon at all?
I think that people might be struggling a little bit. I've turned the volume right up on my phone. The problem that we've got is that everything works until we went live, and then it decided to deny access to the microphone for Facebook audio, and we don't know why.
This
so
probably won't work now. Yeah, allow microphone access. I don't know why it's not allowing microphone
You
access.
said you tested it.
I did, and it worked. And then the moment we started going live, it stopped. I am trying my very best.
So I've got Simon on the line, but it's I hate how this is a whole new setup, Simon. So basically, I don't. It's going to be very, very quiet. Unfortunately, I don't think the people at home are going to be able to hear much. In fact, I'm going to. First up, I'm going to stop the trains running because they're obviously going to be creating background noise. So. I apologise, by the way. I've quite a long day. I'm just finishing the dinner.
It's literally not going to do it.
That's all right. Somebody's just actually posted a comment saying if OBS is using the microphone, Facebook will not let you use it.
We have 7 microphones.
Yeah.
And it won't let us use any of them.
Yeah, there's 7 microphones up here. It's like Facebook, pick one, anyone. You just you pick it, we'll let you
really
use it.
It's really simply just not letting us do it.
Don't you just love technology? Computer literally says no for no good reason. So, what are you doing?
Your best bet.
That is max audio.
Yeah.
You're going to balance my phone precariously by a microphone.
Yeah.
So, You're going to get a very, very strange view there, Simon, unfortunately. You're just going to have to... Can you hear me? But I can't now read the comments.
No, but you've got another phone here.
Okay, so emergency technology.
Simon, can you just talk a second?
Simon, say something.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Hi, yes, hello. How's everyone? Very good?
That's kind of coming through.
Is it right? It does appear to be coming through. So Simon, I'm afraid we're gonna struggle through this, but right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can just hear him. Somebody says get Discord. I've never heard of Discord.
Discord is all right, but yeah.
According to Flymo Chairman 1, Jenny, you go into the Messenger's settings and choose the mic you need.
I've just done that and it didn't work. It really does not want to allow it.
New Mills Model Railway suggests, do you have an external speaker that you could possibly put into your headphone socket on the phone?
Where do we have any external speakers?
They're sat on the desk here. You would physically have to unplug them from the computer. It's just a standard small jack plug.
A mini jack?
Yeah. You'll have to go...
Let me in.
You'll have to... I'm afraid we're a real Mickey Mouse organisation tonight. But anyway, look, Simon,
hey, we only got this set up yesterday. We're going to have teething troubles.
Yeah, we'll get to the bottom of this in time. But so how are you doing, Simon? I noticed you're enjoying a nice glass of wine over there.
Unfortunately, it's the non-alcoholic.
Non-alcoholic? Well, that's called grape juice, Simon. That's Schlur.
It's sparkling non-alcoholic.
That's Schlur that's been through the soda stream. Are you all right down there, Cupboard Monkey?
Which one's the audio?
It's the lighter coloured one. You'll find 2 jack plugs. It's the one furthest away from you.
If I pull this out and everything goes off, it's not my fault.
What made that noise? Was that you?
Yeah.
Oh. So we are. I've got somebody messing about under the desk here. Right. Anyway, no. So I was telling people initially when we started. Did you let go of the cable? You're supposed to bring it back out with you.
This is what I've had all day. Have you done this? You should have done that.
Right. Will that actually go into? Do you need to take the cover off the phone?
No, that should be fine.
So hold on a moment, Simon. We're just going to. You're going to have to take we're getting there. I was saying to people earlier on. I'm sort of shouting at a phone that's being flailed around by the cupboard monkey here.
I think I've just hung up on him.
Hello?
No, he's still here.
Yeah, we're going to get there in the end, ladies and gentlemen watching, who are going, what the heck are we just tuned into? Any minute, I see the cupboard monkey.
You've tuned into the weekly episode of Morons on Parade.
Okay, okay. The cupboard monkey assured me that it all worked.
It did, and then it broke.
Right, so are we getting anything through those speakers?
Simon, can you just say something?
Hello.
Just turn us up a bit.
Can you hear me?
I don't know whether that's really working much, is it?
How's that?
Hello.
Right. Can people?
Hello.
I think that we might just be about getting there. Right. Anyway.
Yes.
I introduced you before the call. I did introduce you. I believe you're the. Obviously, you're the acclaimed children's author, the author of the.
I don't know about acclaimed, but yes.
It's the great British railway stories, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, is there another book coming out? I'm guessing you get asked this a lot.
Dean is currently working on. All right, Luna, hang on. Give me 1 sec. Get down.
Get down, Shep. Get down, Shep.
Never work with railway enthusiasts or animals.
Yeah, or children.
Or children.
That's what they always say, isn't it?
Book 2 has been in the pipeline for about 6 years. Dean is about 2/3 of the way through the artwork. It's been a really difficult couple of years for him and I. We both changed jobs. We've both been working really, really hard at other things. So it took a back seat for a little bit, but he's done an amazing job and he will get there. It's been really good fun.
I mean, I'm guessing, again, I do excuse me if these are questions that you're like sick and tired of answering because everybody asks.
No. It's been a while since I've actually talked about it because there really hasn't been anything to talk about. We had a print slot last year, which we missed, and that was actually down to me. I asked Dean to rework a couple of bits of artwork, which was not of his doing. This was my doing. I changed part of the story to better suit the actual kind of the things we were going for. So the second book is set in the Second World War. Quite a lot of it is actually about the women of the Second World War. And one of the things that we really wanted to get over was how different it is from then to now in terms of, say, equality, although we still have a long way to go in many respects, as you're well aware. So we've reworked bits of it, and Dean has been doing an amazing job kind of drawing out new bits and bobs and putting up with me, basically.
But where did the original inspiration come from? Where did it all start? I think authors always get asked stuff like this. But, what were the stories born out from?
Well, actually, it was my grandfather. So he was a spotter in the 1940s and did a bit of footplate inspecting after the Second World War. And he used to tell me stories about the locomotives that would go up to Copley Hill out of King's Cross. And the original films were based on a project I did at Loughborough University with a group of friends. So by the time I got around to actually doing, I think it was episode 6, I rediscovered quite a lot of my granddad's notes, and we went from there. And then the first book is directly based on a few of the stories that he wrote down and told me. The second book is my own, pretty much entirely my own writing, which was really scary. Because the first book, as nice as it is, I maybe went too far in one direction, making it a very calm, very kind of placid affair.
Yeah.
This one may have gone the other way, because in the Second World War, it's very much more explosive. And that is probably the key word. It's a mixture of Popper's original stories and stuff that I've come up with.
Excellent. I have seen you shared some of the artwork. You've managed to write your car into it, I believe, or is that from?
Yes.
I've seen some artwork of your car. Is that actually in the book?
It is in the book. So originally, it wasn't going to be my car at all, because when I originally wrote the book, I hadn't restored the car at that point, and I was probably going to have like a Volvo Amazon. But then Dean said one day, "Well, I've had a go at drawing this. What do you think?" And he came up with this beautiful sketch of my own car, and I was like, "Oh God, well, it's got to be that now, hasn't it?" So he illustrated it fully, and it's now part of the book. Yeah.
Excellent, and I mean that leads us nicely onto the Volvo. You were also very well known as basically being Mr. Volvo. You and Volvo go hand in hand. Have you always driven a Volvo, or is this a love that you've kind of grown into?
Oh, yeah, I've always driven that particular Volvo.
So that is your
actually
first
my first
car.
car.
So you still have your first car.
Yes.
My
It's also been the family car since 1989.
It's funny actually, because my first car was also the family car from 1989, and it was also a Volvo 740. Yeah, although I don't still have mine. I made the mistake of selling it when the back axle broke. But you know, back then it was what, 2004, and they were worthless in 2004. And the cost of repairing it was somewhere in the region of 20 times what it was technically worth. But my second car that sounded expensive.
Yes, it's just a knife on a plate.
Oh right, sorry, it sounded like you'd broken the glass.
No. See, still got it.
See, seriously, I really do respect you for keeping your very first car, because I still regret getting rid of my 740. I loved that car, and ever since I sold it, I've always wanted another. I see people at home won't be able to see this. We've got, I think Zoe is going to just hold that up. So that's Simon there.
Trying to get Luna in the shot.
Yeah, we're just trying to get the actual picture that I'm seeing. They won't play ball now, will they?
This is our puppy Luna. He's very cute. He's a Strocker Reef Spaniel.
Oh, that's really cute.
Oh, but it's just a shame we can't get your picture on. We've had to hold my phone up to one of the cameras to be able to get there. So we've shown people at home.
That's okay, not to worry, Jen.
But
you don't want my mug on the live stream anyway.
Oh come on, you're always pretty sharply dressed. Although actually, I have to say, you're not wearing a suit, which is very unusual.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing a Captain America T-shirt because I was waiting to potentially go out to a work site, but it didn't happen. So I've actually been working from home today, trying to get bits of my apprenticeship done. Because basically, like as much as I would love to do what we did on Biggest Little Railway, which is rock up in a white shirt and a waistcoat, it no longer makes sense to. You know, you've got to go out in a t-shirt and jeans, throw on a set of overalls, and steel pad boots, and just get on with it now.
Yeah, I mean that was the first time that we actually ever met, wasn't it? We kind of just.
Yeah. I'm going to let you get on, and
we're losing the cupboard money.
You know what to do if you need me.
You'll have to watch on the computer in the office.
I'm good. No, I'm going to watch on TV downstairs.
Oh, okay.
My knees are killing me from kneeling on the floor.
Yes, go on, get lost.
Jenny makes me work and never gives me a chair.
Sorry.
Well, I've got the hot seat. But that was the first time we met doing Biggest Little Railway, and so. I've been interviewed a few times about the story of how I got involved, but what was the story behind how you got involved with Biggest Little Railway? Because you rocked up almost like some kind of James Bond, didn't you?
So it was April, 2017, I think we filmed, wasn't it? No, so we filmed in the June, and it was April 2017 when I lost my job. And being quite fed up of being made redundant for the first time in a couple of years, I decided I wanted to go travelling. So I went to Iceland with a few friends, and we were hiking around, and I got a message over Twitter. Oh, you like railways? Would you like to be on a TV programme? Well, that sounds like fun. Yeah, what's it about? Oh, you're going to build a model railway across Scotland. Great, sounds great. When do you need me? Well, we need you here tomorrow.
So were you like?
I was in the middle of Iceland, and they booked a flight for me from Reykjavik to get up to Bristol, and then get a connecting flight all the way up into Scotland to get to Port William. And they said, "Can you get to Reykjavik in 18 hours?" And I was on the other side of Iceland, and I said, "Yeah, okay, I'll give it a go." And so I booked a coach, and then hitchhiked, and then got a taxi, and then another bus, and I got to the airport within 13 hours. Waited for about half an hour and got on the flight just in time.
Did it just go?
Then our flight was delayed getting into Bristol, which meant I potentially would have missed my connecting flight. So, it was, it was a crazy journey up, but I was very lucky. I had my dear old mum ring up Bristol Airport, who got me an escort to the next flight, so I made it. And then I arrived at the airport in my jeans, and all that was left of my clean clothes, which was a white shirt and a waistcoat. That's where the story began.
Yeah, because it was. You were like the best dressed man by a long way on that shoot.
That's because all I had left were the suit parts.
Because your clothes just took a little while to turn up, so you were kind of swaggering around.
4 days.
So you were
they washed them on the first day, and 4 days later I got them.
So you were like swaggering around on this campsite in Scotland, looking like you were sort of like, it's like, where's the wedding at? Where's the wedding at?
I don't know if you remember, but by about day 3, I really did start to smell.
No, I don't. To be honest, I think we all started to smell a bit because it was pretty rough. But no, that was the first time that I met you, and we've remained good friends. And then obviously we've moved on to other projects. You ended up you're doing an apprenticeship with Network Rail, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. And I have a TV show to thank for that, because I met a few Network Rail engineers there, and they said you should apply for the apprenticeship scheme. So I did, and I applied, did the interview, and somehow got it. And I've never looked back, really. It's been wonderful.
Brilliant. Because you were originally you worked. I was thinking you as having been an accountant. I don't think you were actually an accountant, but you worked at a bank or something, wasn't it, before?
Yeah. So it's a very long story, but I actually started out as the assistant to a head underwriter at an insurance company. And then the underwriter got made redundant, so I ended up becoming the compliance officer. And then after a few years, I joined the Financial Ombudsman Service, which was lovely for about 5 years. And then it was a really difficult decision to go, but I decided I wanted to leave and do something else. And that was when I jumped ship to go to another bank, and then a debt management firm. And they were all very lovely, but then I got made redundant.
Oh, wow.
So these things happen, but maybe it was meant to be, because I'm in railways now and I couldn't be happier.
Well, that's brilliant. And they say that part of the battle in life is actually enjoying what you do for a living. And if you enjoy what you do, it doesn't really seem like work.
No, I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah. At the end of the week, you're going, so who do I make the check out to? But then, you're a very, very active man, because you're also involved with Clanline. Am I right in
Yes. So I'm probably, you say active, I'm probably the least active member in terms of actually getting down to Stuart's Lane.
Right.
But there's a reason for that. I'm the treasurer. So I spend an awful lot of time on my computer at home, making payments, doing spreadsheets. Myself and the former treasurer, Howard Reynolds, who's been amazing through the changeover. He's been helping me do the annual accounts for this year. And quite a lot of what I do for Clanline is not necessarily down to Stuart's Lanes. It's a lot of backroom stuff. But I don't mind that because it means that people who are actually much better at the engineering can go and concentrate on that. If I look after the books and make sure that we're making the money that we need to, that all the bills are paid that need to be paid, it's that's the main thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Definitely. I'm getting. Just bear with me one moment to wiggle a cable.
No problem.
For reasons that I don't quite know why, I'm not getting a picture through. For some reason, our entire setup is starting to fall apart. We're not getting any of the. Oh, come on, cameras, show me something. We seem to have lost all camera feed for everything other than me, and I don't know why. Because the lights.
That's okay.
The lights are on the cameras to tell me that they are actually.
I leave you alone for 1 minute.
That's what I get. But we've got a light on the camera, but for some reason it just doesn't want to work. What did you do?
Just moving around. Sorry, why don't you read some of the chat?
Yeah, I'm getting told off for not reading out some of the chat. So Mark Wilson is asking, what's happened to the screens? Technical difficulty. Southern Train Girl says, hi, Susanna. Oh, I need a running jump at this surname. Joachim. Joaquin, that was it. Right, we got there. So I was way off. Triggers 21. Hi, Jenny. Could you make a big shout out to my kids, Matthew, Isabella, and Olivier? They love your new look on your channel. Brilliant. Dragon Junction says back scenes. Ian Ryan, just go for the UCam, Jenny. Kent Train Fan says hello. So you're getting a light on the camera, but nothing on the screen. I don't understand it.
Which one is it?
The extreme right one. Do you want to move it across by one? I did that before and it started working again.
So why is it in this one then?
Because I had to move it by one to get it working again. I don't understand what's wrong. Is it even finding the one in the fiddle yard? Are we getting a light on the camera?
No. If I jump to this one.
So we're having... That one's coming up. We're getting a lot of technical... I see you're just boogieing away there, Simon. I do apologise. We were... can you actually see...
Just leave it alone in that one.
Right. So what's wrong with the cameras?
I don't know. I think it's forgetting to switch them.
Right.
My goodness, all you can see is my stomach. Sonic! Ding ding!
The cupboard monkey's just being silly.
First video game I ever owned.
Sonic?
Wow.
Yeah.
You came in late.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Mega Drive.
Wow, you came in late.
Oh shit! This one was doing stuff where you had to load off cassette tapes, and she always likes to lord it over.
No, I keep forgetting people are younger than me.
Yeah, what have you done now?
Right, Fiddly Yard I haven't got working.
Yeah.
So now we're jumping back to this one.
Right,
that one works and the first one works. Leave them alone. Stop pressing everything.
I'm getting told off for pressing buttons. Ham Shackle...
I can't go and have her sit down without her breaking all her cameras.
Yeah, Warwick Road says the cupboard monkey says it's operator error.
Yes, it is.
Mark Wilson says Jenny, stop fiddling. Cottesmore says if
I
you're
wish
using...
we had that on Biggest Little Railway, don't you? You could just said it was the monkey under the cupboard.
Yeah.
Right. If you want to switch between the things, so it's Control Shift and 1 for the front. Control Shift and 2 for the back. That's all you need at the moment.
Right, okay.
3 and 4 are set up.
Yeah, well, if you let me speak, Cottesmore says if you're using a USB hub, depending on the USB store settings, the drivers may not be installed. Also, OBS doesn't like the cables being moved about as it works off the port and device ID.
Yeah, well, it's not.
So we're gonna...
The drivers are installed. The problem is it's right at the extent that this cable can go, and I think it's getting pulled out slightly.
Yeah, I'm
We
going to...
need an extension cable.
Yeah, I'll just move the camera a little bit.
Yeah.
Not Lobia Model World, also known as...
That's Les.
That's Les Cliff. You remember Les?
Oh, Les.
He says, "Good evening, Mr. Bond."
Right, I'm off ski.
Are we sure that I'm Mr. Bond and not like Dr. No after the GMRC series?
Are you...
Well,
are you James Bond, Brooke Bond, or Premium Bond?
I like the sound of Premium Bond.
My numbers never come up.
Mine did once, and I got 50 quid, and then nothing else ever.
Yeah, they came up once, but they fixed it for you. Actually, no, I always think of you more as being the Saint. Roger Moore as the Saint, because he drove a Volvo P1600, was it?
P1800 in white, I think.
Which does still exist, apparently. In fact, it was. And this brings us back quite nicely to the Volvo thing. When we did, was it last year, the Volvo 600?
Volvo 600, yeah.
I'm sure somebody said to me that the Saint Volvo was there somewhere in that.
Yeah, I believe it was there. I sadly didn't see it, but it definitely was photographed, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. There was an awful lot of Volvos there. I don't know what the final figure was, but they actually ran out of numbers.
It was over 1,500 because I had car 36 and 1472.
Yes, because your father driving your other vehicle, which is a 240 of similar vintage to your 740, just made it in like the last bunch of people coming in. Because I've got.
Sorry, try again.
Sorry, your father made it in. He was like in the last.
He did make it in.
It was the last bunch of people, because I've actually got a video of you as you realised that he'd just made it through before the cut-off point.
It's the fact that they had 3 breakdowns on the way there.
And have you got to the bottom of that? Is the car now reliable?
Do you want to know something really ironic, Jen?
Mm?
So that 240 has been the only car I've now used this year, because the 740 is off the road and I've been trying to fix it for the past 2 months.
So I was curious.
And the 240 has been brilliant. I've used it for work and it's incredibly reliable.
Well, the 240s are really kind of the vehicle that gave Volvo the nickname of tanks, really, aren't they? They're indestructible. Yes. The only reason that a 240 would die is because somebody got bored of it and just didn't know what.
Banger racing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they were lethal in banger racing. They just went through everything else like tinfoil. But so what's up with the 740? I know it was not quite right when we filmed GMRC. But did
we fixed the engine, which was the problem when we did GMRC, and now the issue is the gearbox again, for which we have a leak. And I don't know where it is, and I rather suspect we've got a cracked sump, but for the life of me we can't find it, so we're going to drop it out next week and have a look. I do have a spare gearbox, but I'd rather keep the original one on it.
I mean, how many miles has it done? Do you have an actual firm figure for the mileage? Because I know your speedometer is another area that was a bit hazy.
So the speedometer now works, but the odometer no longer works.
Right.
But the odometer, I have been digitally recording all the miles since I restored the car and when it last worked.
Right.
So we have, within probably 10 or 20 miles, we have an accurate figure.
So when
and that figure currently stands at 308,000 miles.
Really? So you've gone past the 300,000? Gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, 740s would do that. Mine was at just approaching 250,000 when I got rid of it, and the engine still ran like a brand new engine. It didn't burn a drop of oil, didn't lay any smoke screen, started off the first twitch of the key, and with mine it was the bearings in the back axle that let her down. But what I found with the gearbox was my synchromesh was starting to go, because I had the manual.
Yeah.
And
you see, I've got the auto with the 4-speed overdrive.
Right. Have you ever had that rebuilt at all, or is that as like factory fresh?
It's basically so every 10,000 miles we do a drain on it and basically top it up and make sure it's okay.
Yeah.
But no, it's basically as it came out of the factory.
So that's a
we're now
lot of miles.
starting to get issues, and
yeah,
because it is what it is. It's an old car.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of miles on an automatic gearbox. But yeah, I mean it's just it was quite a marvel to see the car, because it's very clear that it's a labour of love.
Oh God.
I can hear somebody coming up.
Biggest little railway.
Oh, I'm getting told off for talking about cars. But
let's go back to trains.
Yeah, I mean GMRC.
Yeah.
So you were roped into it by me, basically.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah, don't mention it. And actually,
it was brilliant, though.
I'm really glad actually that I asked you onto the team, because you turned out to be a really, really valid member of the team. Because the thing that really stuck in my mind and impressed me about you on that shoot was that even if you had no experience as something, you were like really game to get stuck in, and actually were really good with things like you did the plaster bandage on the scenery and stuff like that.
I guess so. I love that. That was a great product. And
yeah.
I've now used it on my own model railway to fairly good effect.
Yeah.
It's yeah. But that was one of the really nice things about that shoot. Every team came into it with maybe members who were not quite as experienced in terms of modelling, and they had a real go. And there was such camaraderie throughout the whole of the show between all the teams. I don't remember a crossword between us or any of the opposing teams. Everyone was helping out.
Yeah.
I think it was oh God, who's Counting Rivets gave us some of their polystyrene in exchange for a few things, and that was the kind of that was the level. It was really lovely. People really helped each other.
And that was the thing. It didn't matter about which team you were in which round you were in. There was so much camaraderie between the teams. There was no adversarial, like, oh no, we're in it to win it kind of thing. Everybody got on really, really well, which I thought was great. And I don't know about yourself, but I've actually kept in contact with so many people from the other teams as well.
Yeah, same.
And it's great. It's a whole bunch of new great friends. And the other thing as well that I came out of GMRC with is that I think you touched on it with the plaster bandage product, that we got to play about with and road test products that you may not even necessarily have even been aware existed on the market, and found that actually these are great products. And there's a lot of techniques as well, making scenery, that I'd never tried. And it was almost like I thought, I'm not confident to do that, so I'm not going to do it. But when you're up against that kind of a time limit, it forces you to have a go. And actually, what I think Les and I particularly learnt from that was actually its confidence. It gives you the confidence.
You have to keep aware of the comments.
Yeah, and being told off for not reading the comments.
I thought this was like a code where everyone gets involved, not just you two have conversations.
Yeah,
we're very bad at that.
Jen is. I have to keep on top of her all the time, Simon. She's terrible.
See, usually we have somebody who's like, we do get a seat. The cupboard monkey doesn't get a seat because she doesn't. But normally we get people into the loft, and it's a lot easier if somebody's here. But of course you're down in Sidcup. I
will read the comments then, shall I? And you can both answer questions.
Yeah, that's probably easier.
All right, I'll stay here then. Where's the one that I was going to ask you? Okay, right. You've scrolled these out. You've done this on purpose to make me look silly.
What have I done?
Trying to find the thing. The red and white coach at the end of the Wraith being pulled by the DP1. Is that the Intercity Exhibitions Mark 1?
No, that's a top narrow parcels coach. Which, even though... see, I don't know, are you able to watch the stream, Simon, where you are? Or is...
I'm afraid not. What I've got is a very good view of your ceiling and your wine glass at the moment.
Yeah, he can see that.
I don't know how I can. I don't know whether I can move you around.
Oh, lovely.
So,
Excellent. I can see. Is that class 29?
That is, yes, it's the new Daypole Class 29.
I see the top narrow, coach. Yeah.
Yeah, just over there, just going underneath the bridge. And even
that's a lovely layout then.
Oh, thank you. So I'm going to try and show you some more of it. Goes all the way around over there. That's the back scene that Les did for me, actually, over there.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we had the best back scenes on the show, I think.
We did.
Les did such an amazing job.
Oh, excuse me, sorry. It's actually a gin and tonic I'm drinking, and there's a lot of gas in the tonic.
Yeah, that's our excuse. Garthian says he has 2 of the Tartan Arrow parcels and they're a brilliant livery.
They are, and actually the CCT, Bachmann CCT has also been released in a matching livery, so you can slowly make up, a parcels train. I believe it's actually, even though it looks modern... sorry, what now?
Talk to the camera, not to me. I'm invisible.
It doesn't matter what I say or do, I get told off.
Yes.
Don't worry, Jen.
Yeah, what was I talking about? Tartan Arrow, despite the fact that it looks quite a modern livery, I think it's from about late 60s, early 70s, so it's quite an old livery.
Mark Wilson says, Zoe, can you close the small window down with Jenny in it?
Apparently people don't like the fact that on the actual live... I'll try and point you at the camera, at this screen, so you can see what people at home are seeing. So you can see that screen up there.
Oh, wow, okay.
So basically, I'm up in the top corner, and then there's one of the cameras on the layout. We can change what that camera is. There's several cameras.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then the chat scrolls down the right-hand side.
Yeah.
So that's what that's what the people at home are seeing. It's a completely new setup, so it's obviously teething troubles at the moment.
So we've got here, Trains in the Garage says, Jenny, did you get the A4 okay?
Did I get the A4 okay?
Yeah. The O4 even.
Oh, the O4, yes! I picked that up today. And I will...
O4 is in LNER O4.
Yes, but in BR livery. So I'll show Simon. There it is.
63601, that's the preserved one.
Is it?
Yes.
I didn't realise that was the preserved. That makes sense. So I'm going to hold that up, and yes, thank you. It did come through grand, but actually, I'll just put that over there. I will show you another one that I've got.
Oh, we set Jenny off now. She's going to go through all of her collection.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it.
Garthian says it's a great new look. Hope it gets used more. This is what it's going to look like from now on, Garthian.
So, would I be right in thinking that locomotive I've just showed you and this locomotive, which is 1185, are the same locomotive?
They are the same locomotive.
So I'll hold that up to the camera. 1185 in Great Central livery. So this is a Robinson 8K. Later, the 04 is what the LNER classified them as. But I do have quite a collection of them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including that Great Central one.
604s. Wow.
Well, yes.
Oh, don't get us started on numbers. My goodness, how many of those little trucks have you got going round?
Oh, there's a train of coal wagons going round, and everybody always marvels at it. There's about 70 Bachmann 16-ton mineral wagons.
Sorry, was that 17 or 70?
70. So you can just see it there going round. Do you see it just keeps going?
That's epic.
And the thing about
pulling it.
It's actually a Helgen Class 27 is currently at the head of that. And as you can see, it just keeps going and going. And there's 60 or so mineral wagons there, but every single one is unique. Because I started buying them in 2000, just after Bachmann launched the Blue Ribbons range. Yeah, I'm old.
Has it been that long?
I think they came out in about 1999, 2000. And I basically started from the day that they first were released, and up until probably about 3 or 4 years ago, every time they released a new one, a new running number, I'd buy it. So none of them are renumbered, but every single one is a unique running number, and that is not my complete collection because I've got about 85.
That's amazing,
Okay, we have another question from D827 Kelly. Is there a track level camera?
There is, but it's not. We haven't worked out a way to put it on the system because it has to be. No, the one that goes on a wagon is wireless.
Yeah.
But there is not a track level camera. The closest you're going to get is the one that's on the screen at the moment. Is the closest.
We will eventually get one that we can adjust and move. That will become a track level camera.
Well, yeah, we'll have one that can just be plugged in and put in a location each time.
Yeah.
But it's a work in progress. I bought this gear on which day did we buy this?
Oh, this was last Tuesday.
Yeah, we bought it last Tuesday, tested it for the first time yesterday.
Found out most of it worked and then some of it didn't the day. So
I've spent today actually doing some mostly lighting actually, putting extra lights in so that it didn't look washed out on the screen. And there's still some issues. Otherwise we were trying to get it so that you, Simon, would be on screen as well. But it hasn't.
It's okay, don't worry. It's really lovely to see it. What I'm staggered at is 70 wagons. I've always known Helton's got a great reputation, but that's extraordinary.
That's Jenny for you. She gets obsessed.
That's not even loaded up. There's no wheel slip. But see, the thing is it's all down to how you lay your track. And they're quite gentle curves, so you don't get that huge resistance as it goes around a sharp curve. And it's reasonably level. So there's actually a lot of locomotives will handle that train, and they're all quite well lubricated as well.
So is Jenny by the sounds of it.
Oh, I walked into that,
Excellent.
yes. So for those people who are interested in what tonight's beverage of choice is, it's Tanqueray Flor de Seville gin with orange. So it's basically orange gin, it's hipster gin.
And it looks like it's in a shaky
it looks like it's in a cocktail shaker. Right?
Yeah. So we've got another question here.
This is best non-alcoholic Prosecco.
Actually, no, we've tried that. It's interesting, but it ain't no Prosecco.
Yeah.
No,
okay,
it's not.
We've got a question here from New Mills Model Railway. Any packets hiding on the yard?
Any packets? They're not on the yard, but I have got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 W4 packets and a B2 packet. Just in fact, I will, for the benefit of Simon, I have actually shown.
Show them to the camera as well.
So up there you can see.
Oh wow!
They're all the little shunting locos.
I see is that a Merchant Navy or Back of Britain?
I think it's a West Country.
That's a lovely image we're getting on there, man. My goodness.
Yeah, so that shelf goes the full width of the room, and it's full.
That's amazing.
And then that cabinet is all like the things like Class 8 shunters, ginties and stuff.
I see loads of Class 20s, I think.
Yeah, I've got quite a few Class 20s. I'm just going to show off Simon as well, just to... I'm just showing you to one of the cameras there, so that people can see that I am really talking to you down the line. So
and once we get all the teething troubles worked out, this will work so much better.
Yeah, Class 20s, I've got...
Apparently we just had a very nice shot of your one pack.
My one pack. No, it's not my one pack. It's my lure pack. The trouble is, when you reach middle aged, you stop keeping your 6-pack about your person and just put it in the fridge. So yeah, I used to be in shape, and then they introduced me to gin and tonic.
Okay,
I've never been in shape. I keep getting out of shape.
See, I love food too much.
Everyone's in shape. Round is a shape.
Yes. And I am dieting. I'm on a seafood diet. I see food and I eat it. Yeah.
Okay, D827 Kelly says here, most Helgian locomotives can pull more than their real-life counterparts due to very heavy chassis.
You know what? That doesn't surprise me. Because we had we had the Class 20, didn't we? The Waterman Railways one. Yeah, that Kestrel, didn't we? And they were both pretty damn good, weren't they?
On Great Model Railway Challenge. Now, I brought the Class 20 was a Bachmann Class 20, which is the one that we used during the final. Although it was actually hiding on the War of the Worlds layout, so it was.
Yeah, so it was. Yeah.
But then I also had a Hornby Class 31 on the War of the Worlds layout, and on the Halloween layout we used the J50s, the Hornby the Hornby J50, which is again that's up there in that cabinet somewhere. I'm trying to think what else we used, because there was we had the Flying
Ghost
Spooksman
Percy and Ghost Thomas.
Yeah.
Ghost Percy is nearly finished being rebuilt. I'm going to do a little bit of a Twitter thread at some point to reveal the repaint and rebuild. If only I hadn't had to go to the emergency room.
Oh yes, the infamous, the very infamous drilling through your finger. Just tell the lovely people how did that happen? How does one accidentally put a neat little hole straight through one's finger?
Seemed quite easy to me.
I've been asked actually, was that done to kind of give the TV program drama? And I said no, it wasn't. But
I used to believe, before I worked with you on Biggest Little Railway, and before I worked on GMRC with you, that these sorts of things had to be scripted, that there was someone in the background directing the action, that things happened and they weren't real. And after filming those two shows with you, I can absolutely, categorically conclude and tell everyone present, none of it's scripted.
No.
It's just people like me, unfortunately, and your good self, Jen, ordinary people who, on occasion, get things wrong. And in my case, I had a vice, and I lent the vice to someone else, not in the team, but someone else in the room to work on. And I was in a hurry to get one of the coaches done, and then there was a sort of a pause while I drilled a bit of the coach, and then I thought, oh, that pinches a bit. I lifted my hand up, and it was this finger, and it looked like the drill bit had gone through my finger. So instead of doing what any normal person would do, which is, I put a drill bit through my finger, I went, has it actually gone through? And I pressed the button on the drill, and it span in my finger about half a second, and I was like, yep.
Yeah. And then the little bit...
I pulled it out, which I'm now told is the worst thing.
Yeah, because it's plugging the hole. As soon as you pull it out, you've just got a hole with nothing stopping the inside.
Not just
going...
that, you further tear the
then
flesh.
happened, Jen? Oh, God. Because the blood went over the bench, and it was on the chair, and I dripped it over the floor.
Yeah.
And I had to clean that up. And then they had me on the bench outside, and at that point, it wasn't stopping. So they took me up to, what was it, Henry on Thames walk-in centre.
Yeah, because, I mean, the thing was, obviously you got rushed away, and we were all like, what's going on? Because we saw you leave, and I kind of got a sense from the film crew that they were kind of torn. A part of them was thinking, my God, we've got TV gold, and the other part's going, oh heck, what happens if we break one of the people? So there was.
It was a quick fix in the end, but I did have a couple of thoughts of, oh God, it's actually quite serious, because there was quite a lot of blood, because obviously when you go through the end of your finger, this particular one, you at the end of your finger it just flows out. That's kind of how the blood flow works, I guess. And I was quite lucky. I was really, really lucky because we had a great crew around us that looked after me. And actually, Jen, you're being very modest. Your good self came out to check up on me.
I did, actually.
When I was sat on the bench not feeling very well, and I was very grateful for that.
Well, I'll be honest, it was a case of somebody came up to me and said, Simon's drilled a hole through his finger. In fact, they may even have been more dramatic and said Simon's cut his finger off or something like that. So I'm like, really? And as soon as I got outside, you were like lying on the bench. And the
recovery position.
The thing that always got me about any TV shoot is that everything you do, you're kind of followed around by somebody with a camera trying to get an angle. So I was trying
definitely want a good angle on. Oh, he's just cut his finger off.
So it's basically,
you can put that on primetime TV.
While I was being worked on, and they only took the film when I left.
So
last few statements there might be interesting.
Don Cragen says, "Hi Jenny, good afternoon from San Jose. I'm joining late today, but I'll catch up." We get people from all around the world, and it's brilliant. We've got people from New Zealand, India, Australia, Canada, US, Brazil, France, Norway, Sweden.
Do you know the way to Amarillo?
No, but I know a man who does.
Do you know the way to San Jose?
Oh, interesting. Mark Wilson asks, was it Simon who kicked off with Les over the faraway tree?
No.
And that's the thing.
I was like, what?
See, that's the thing. I don't know about you, Simon. When I watched the programme, there was a lot of occasions where I was left thinking, that's not how it happened. And you know, some of the editing was a bit selective to kind of make
creative editing.
Yeah, to make you think that maybe something had happened that hadn't. And
I think Les will agree with me. I think he's watching the live stream. But when we had the discussion about the tree, I did it in. I talked to him, and I was diplomatic, and we were both calm. And you know, from my point of view, we both had a job to do in terms of making sure the team got through.
Yeah.
And you've got to remember, Les is an amazingly creative bloke.
Yeah.
He works really hard. But I think even Les would admit he is also a tornado. And that's wonderful, actually, because it means he gets a lot of stuff done.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was like the ever-ready bunny. He just, like, got stuck right in.
Absolutely. And the tree, we modified the tree in order to put the face a lot lower. And we put the branches up a bit higher, and we changed it. And I think it was for the better. And I have to be fair in this. I don't think it was. No one fell out over that. Brian was the one who originally kind of pointed it out, and I think Brian was absolutely right in that because we wanted to produce the best product.
Yeah.
You know, it was. I don't think it was ever intended as a criticism, and I don't think it really came across that way on TV either.
Yeah.
But that's my reflection.
Very much. And
I thought Les did an amazing job with the things to.
Yeah, definitely. And I felt that it was a good call. As it started out, it kind of had this head on top of a tree, and it just didn't work. It didn't look like a tree so much as this kind of weird, like almost like Gollum. But once the
Les would agree with us on this. When he looks back at it, it's better now, by far. And by just moving it down a couple of inches, it looked like your traditional kind of enchanted tree.
Yeah,
and from that,
Les does agree.
Amazing.
Les does agree, actually. He said to me on a number of occasions, he thought, you know, looking at it, it's like, yeah, actually that was definitely the better way to go. But what surprised me is that that tree apparently is still out there somewhere. I saw a photograph of it.
Isn't it in someone's garden?
Have you not seen the picture? Somebody was using it as a Halloween decoration. And I was
looking... You know what? That's what it deserves, because it's a wonderful bit of
I mean, it was an incredibly innovative method of constructing stuff. And actually, with hindsight, I know at the time, for very complicated reasons, I hated the Halloween build. Mostly because of the stress that we went through in building it. But when I look back now, I actually think that was the best of the three layouts.
Don't make me choose. Don't make me choose, because you know what? I think all three layouts have really, really good positives that are different to each other. But if I was really going to be honest, I loved the War of the Worlds layout.
Yeah, and
That's
the War
my
of the
favourite
Worlds,
of the three.
but it was more towards your kind of traditional model railway. But with the Halloween layout, it was so radically out there, pushing the limits of what you could do, that actually with hindsight looking at it, it is such an eye-catching layout. And it's just, it's tragic it doesn't exist anymore.
The ideas that went into that layout, and I think you would agree with me on this, between yourself, Les, Brian and Mel, you came up with an extraordinary concept. Because I admit, and I'm happy to say this, on camera, I didn't really have that much to do with the ideas, but I was happy to help facilitate the building of it, And what actually came out was genuinely, as Brian puts it, this beautiful kind of eerie child's layout in a bedroom, and it just, I thought it just worked.
Yeah. And the thing actually, the thing about that as well was that there was so many subtle references in it, and in a way, because of the nature of the filming, and we finished it, the paint's even still wet as they're doing the judging, and then it's racked and stacked, and it's like wham bam, thank you ma'am. Nobody really got the opportunity to kind of really look at it and appreciate a lot of the very subtle references. I mean, we had things like underneath the haunted mansion was Beetlejuice's legs.
No.
Isn't that a bit of a mistake then for TV?
I don't think it got onto screen, did it?
What, sorry?
Did it get onto screen?
I can't remember. But then there was the fly in the graveyard, the kind of life-size fly from Beetlejuice. Then you had an actual model of your Volvo.
Yeah.
And then you'd also done my father's Land Rover. But then moving on from there was a lot of other subtle references, because there was some of my books, some of your books. There was a little Mammoth steam engine, which is the one that my grandfather gave to me. There was a bus, a Greater Manchester Public Transport Executive double-decker bus, which was a reference to Les and I being from Bolton, because it actually on its destination line, it said Bolton Great Moor Street Bus Station. And there was lots of these very subtle references, and it's why when I saw on the programme, Kathy Millett made the comment, it looks like they've just dumped random stuff on it, and I thought, I explained so many times that every single item on that layout was a subtle reference to something. It was actually incredibly clever.
I know,
Jen, and
I love Kathy Millett to bits. She is such a lovely lady. But I feel like Steve on that particular episode got what we were going for, and Kathy maybe just didn't see it. To be fair to her, she totally understood where we were going with War of the Worlds. And I feel like it's different tastes. We see this in model railways all the time, don't we?
Yeah.
There's going to be different railways.
And I think in many ways, trying to judge something creative is a hiding to nothing. And the way I described it at the time would be, if you were trying to compare a Jackson Pollock to a Constable, how do you actually judge them against each other? You can't.
They're both wonderful in their own way.
Exactly. Very different.
Each one is special in its own way.
Exactly.
They get along, gang.
Yeah. But it's so true, and in effect, because Great Model Railway Challenge was trying to think outside the box, and we were making props for a TV show rather than strict model railways. Excuse me, nobody in a million years would ever try and make most of those model railways as a model railway, because they're impractical.
Exactly.
But you end up with this situation where you're trying to compare a Jackson Pollock to a Constable, and you cannot do that.
No, you can't. Just on that then, what was your favourite prop?
My favourite prop?
Yeah, that we had on the show, like prop or gimmick.
Oh, well, we had the little horse, the hobby horse. I really liked that. And I think I probably got a bit silly with it when we were filming. But partly
Jamie getting silly with something. My goodness, that never happens.
No, but I never actually told anybody, but I was scared witless doing that second one, because I think the thing for me, when we did War of the Worlds, we had such a clear idea of, at least, at the very least, I definitely had such a clear idea of what we were doing. I didn't feel any stress. It almost felt like, have we missed something? Because this feels quite easy, because we prepared so well for War of the Worlds. And when we came to do the Halloween one, I couldn't visualise what it was we were building. So all the way through that, I felt very much like I was, at a loss. When people were saying to me, "Oh, we need this, we need that," I couldn't visualise it right up until towards the end of the build. And
I'm with you on that. I couldn't visualise it either, and I was really, really dubious about the use of the wallpaper for the flooring.
Yes.
But it did look really good.
It did work in the end. And I felt that because we didn't have this clear idea that everybody knew what we were building, that was the precipitation of the stress in the team that we all felt. What are we looking at?
Oh, questions.
Right, D827 Kelly says, a lot of that was possibly the producers leaning on her to be a certain way. I think we're going back to Kathy Miller. And I got the impression...
Kathy has her own mind. She's at liberty to not like something.
Yeah. There was a point where they filmed a big thing with a criticism, and then afterwards she sort of sidled over to me and she said, "Oh, I didn't mean that. It's just because it makes good telly." And I thought...
But you know what? I remember that moment, because I was stood a couple of paces behind you.
Yeah, it was me, you and Brian. And she made a big thing about the quality of my track. And what annoyed me was there was nothing blooming wrong with my track. And afterwards, she sidled over to me and she says, "Oh, I didn't mean anything bad. It was just because it makes good telly." And I got the impression that there were times when they weren't told what to say, but they were kind of pushed in a direction, like, we need you to make a thing about X, Y, and Z. And then they were left to kind of make a thing of it, but not told what that thing was.
Which is why in a lot of reality television credits, you'll find a credit for line producer. Well, someone who is pushing people in a certain way.
And it's interesting, actually, on Biggest Little Railway, did you meet the person who was writing all of the directions and the scripts? Sasha Bennett. Do you not remember Sasha Bennett?
You're joking.
What do you think he was there for? He was sat at a laptop most of the time in the base camp.
I didn't know that.
Well, do you know what he does for a living, don't you? He writes films and dialogue, and he's a director with a company called Three Wise Monkeys. He makes Hollywood films, but he also writes scripts. Everything that Dick Strawbridge was saying, Hadrian Spooner was saying, Claire Barrett was saying, was
not everything that Hadrian was saying was scripted.
No. What they were given the gist of what they needed to say, and then they kind of ad-libbed off that. But he was also feeding directions to the camera operators. What are they called? PDs, production directors. And so, did you never? I don't know, because being a team captain, I got goosed to do certain things by the PD, and I know that like Lawrence and Paul and his name Charlie as well had the same thing where it was.
No, I don't think Lawrence did. But then the A team with Lawrence and with Phil Turner, who was our PD. It was all very, very natural because we were all generally either really, really up for it or very, very miserable mixed.
Oh, well, see, I kept getting. I wouldn't call it directed, but it was suggested that I needed to do certain things, and.
Oh no, yeah, we definitely got that. Did you go over there? Maybe there's something of interest.
Yeah.
And that's how we got the one with Colin and me by the gate, where I said something really nerdy, and Colin just goes,
well,
which is fair enough, you know.
Dundee Road says go A team. You weren't the A team, though, were you?
I wasn't the A team. I'm the D team. In fact,
D team, two. Doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, but I've got a little plaque up on the wall. My memento is a plaque done in the style of the A team logo, but it just says the D team, but in the same font as the A team.
Yeah.
Mark Wilson says, Jenny, did you know Simon before GMRC?
Well, yeah, we met on Biggest Little Railway, which filmed before that, but that's where I actually met you.
We stayed in contact. We did the Volvo thing just before GMRC as well. You know, we'd stayed in contact for a while. You're quite well known in model railway.
Yeah.
Literally, the model railway queen, I dare say.
Well, I get called the queen of speed modelling. Seems to have become my name. Yes, who's queen?
It's good that they put modelling on the end, isn't it?
Yes, I am a big queen. I know. Yes.
No, I'm just thinking the Queen of Speed might be a bit different of a title.
Actually, no, if you go to Alton Towers, there's a ride called Rita's Queen of Speed. But then in the meantime as well, because we did some like development-y type stuff for Plum Pictures.
It's a shame none of them really kind of came off. It's a real shame.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we've done lots of other little projects that just never saw the light of day, which is, as you say, it's a massive shame. But that's what TV world is like, I guess. And from my point of view, I've grown up with that. My older sister is a producer and director. So, hey, wait a minute, you're trying to get me drunk?
Yes.
No, that's not how you make a gin and tonic. It's not gin, tonic. So I've basically got a...
Jen, what's the grey 2-car thing running in the back there?
The grey 2-car thing?
I think it was 2 coaches.
There is a Class 105 in blue. I don't know, is it just...
Is it blue and white?
No, just plain blue. It'll come round in a moment. Here it comes.
No,
is that it?
No. Oh, that's bizarre. I wonder what I saw.
In grey.
No, I saw something grey.
The only other thing that's grey is you might be seeing the brake fan on the end of the coal train.
Oh, that might have been it.
So it's just coming round now. So if I show you...
Yeah,
is that it? There's it's the ex-London and South Western Railway Warner brake fan. Is what that is. I did a review of it and its London and South Western Railway livery counterpart. So and that's where the model that I reviewed just. Excuse me, I needed a brake fan and it was sat there on the shelf, so it's like got plugged on.
Everyone loves your recipe for gin and tonic of gin and tonic.
Yeah, I've got a pipette somewhere for the tonic. No, the trouble is, it tastes a bit like medicine if you have too much gin.
That means it's good for you.
No, it's not. Oh, that.
And let's move my non-alcoholic for a second.
I'm afraid that this is a theme of the Jenny Monday Club. Is I slowly get more and more drunk.
More and more drunk. Yes.
But
Mark Wilson says, one of my favourite videos of yours, Jenny, was when you were sitting out in the garden a year or two ago, watching your trains and drinking gin.
Oh yes, I had. It was the last in a series. I'd done a whole series charting the building of a garden railway from start to finish. And the final one, I'm sat at a little table, and I know it's a hot summer's day, and the trains are running round, and it's like, and this is how you enjoy a garden railway. And I just bring up a big bottle of gin and some tonic, and I just make a gin and tonic, and just sit back and drink it. And it's like, that is how you enjoy a garden railway.
And just a disclaimer in case my employers are listening. Obviously, if you work on the railway, you have a strict drugs and alcohol policy, which is why I'm drinking non-alcoholic percent.
Yeah, because effectively it renders you teetotal for pretty much all the year, doesn't it? Because
there's nothing wrong with that.
You have to be. I mean, even on your weekends, you can't effectively drink alcohol. Because even
that is pretty accurate and very unlike what we had on Biggest Little Railway.
On Biggest Little, oh god, there was one day I actually, because they filmed all these things that never got used, and one of them was every single morning, the 4 team leaders had to do a leaders team briefing with Dick and Claire and Hadrian. And we did one of these, and I was completely razzled from the night before. I'd woken up still, like, ragingly drunk. And I can remember doing this, and there's 3 or 4 cameras on us, getting different angles, close-up reaction shots. And all I could think is, man, I am wasted. I better not make a prat of myself, otherwise it is so making the cut. And afterwards...
Is this the one where you quoted Red Dwarf?
I quoted a lot of Red Dwarf on that shoot, it has to be said. But afterwards, I sidled up...
You quote Red Dwarf? Never.
Yes. And if those pen pushers at City Hall don't like it, well, they can swivel on my raised middle digit.
They can sit on this middle digit.
On the other hand, you might just have a macho name, and cybernautics is traffic control. Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Oh god, that's series 5. Oh god, that's
Back to
reality. Yeah.
We watched it last night.
Yeah.
Okay,
Love it.
guys on the live chat, any of you guys actually have any questions? Because we're seeing a lot of comments in the chat at the moment about ways to clean track, and all of your ways that you learned not to hold a soldering iron the wrong way around.
Oh yeah, there's a photograph doing the rounds. Have you seen that? And it's like basically.
Can we ask questions of the live chat?
Yes.
Okay.
As long as it's not the one about where babies come from. I'll tell you when you're older.
No.
There's a photograph.
How many of you have damaged your hands modelling, and what was the worst one?
Okay, well, I've got a few of them already.
With me, it's always soldering irons. And I'm not, like, there's a photograph doing the rounds, and there's a model holding a soldering iron like that.
Oh god.
And it's like why didn't you get somebody from the clearly real employees sat behind her to actually do it? Because once you see it, it looks like so stupid, somebody holding a soldering iron like that. But the one that I tend to get is you'll be so in the zone soldering, you end up either splashing solder on yourself, and I've got tons of little scars from where solder has splashed, or you touch yourself with the soldering iron, and before you realise it, you've got a nice little burn.
I've got a few of them. There's some white marks on my arms from where stuff has popped over. Right, would you like to read out some of those mishaps?
This is a list. Right. So where are we up to?
Right, you've scrolled right past where I suggested you start.
It just says I stuck a dart right through my thumb when I was a kid. Dartboards used by good players.
Wait, hang on, was that through the thumb?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be painful. Because your thumb's got like a lot of muscle and stuff. There's no room to miss anything important.
Yeah, and see how Ian Ryan did it.
Oh my god. Sounds so painful.
It says dartboards used by good players have the treble 20 well stabbed, so I decided to stab it over and over, stuck the dart right through my thumb. Slymo Chairman 1 says, I'm listening to the drill accident story. That's you with the drill. Says, I've had similar learning too hard injuries.
Yeah.
Ronald Morritt asks, hi Jenny and Zoe, like the new look, bought 2 pre-owned J72s recently from Hatton's, Bachmann ones, for £81. Do you have any? I do have a J72. It's an old Bachmann one, but it's split chassis, so it's not even up here anywhere. It's hidden away somewhere.
Oh, Jen, you've got to get the kit, the fold-up chassis kit.
Oh, well,
the J72.
Well, funnily enough, I can DCC fit split chassis locos. In fact, I did a video recently where I took a Bachmann Class 4 shunter, and I not only fitted it with a DCC decoder, but fitted it with Stay-Alive as well. So it now actually outperforms most other locomotives. So it can be done, but it's like the old adage: you can polish a turd as much as you like, but when you finish,
but that's the thing. If you get a fold-up chassis that goes in the J72, and you do a little bit of body detailing, it comes up really, really nice. Particularly with the better motor.
Yeah.
I've got.
But why not just buy the new Bachmann
and
one?
I've done 4 so far.
You see, I'd probably just buy the new Bachmann model.
No, it is really cute. Do you remember the one we saw in that in GMRC for the final episode?
What, the steam loco in the shed?
No. You know, oh, hang on, are we allowed to talk about this? The bit where we had to pick the model that went down the layout.
Oh, I've already told everybody about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
good, okay. So there's lots of models that we could pick. And one of them was the sample J72 in the North Eastern Railway livery. And it was gorgeous.
Yes,
and
that is
actually... I'm glad we didn't have it, actually.
It's out on general sale now, actually, it has to be said. And it's one which I keep putting it into my basket to buy and then taking it back out. It's been it's like basically doing the hokey cokey.
Ken, get the J72.
Is general sale different to general chaos?
Can I just say that on average, I'm buying at the moment about 2 to 3 new locomotives every week. So, yeah, I've got a big collection. But you've got to remember, I review stuff for YouTube.
She has a big collection and no willpower.
So, for every one that I get sent as a review sample, I'll buy another 3. Ham Shackleton says, I dropped a soldering iron once and caught it by the hot end. You only do that once. Yeah.
You're only able to do that once if it's a hot enough one.
Yeah, because you got like, I can smell pork scratchings. Yikes, it's me. And I can remember once on a Shrove Tuesday, I must have only been about 7 or 8 years old, and my mum let me have a go at like flipping a pancake. And she had this really huge old cast iron frying pan with a wooden handle on it. And I just went and grabbed the handle at the metal end, and all in here, I just burned it.
Show the camera.
So I basically welded my skin to the pan because I grabbed hold of it and just went, ah, and then let go. And it took all the skin off.
So that's why you don't like bacon. It brings back all those memories.
Something like that.
I don't know if you can see my face yet, but...
Yes,
it's
going to be cringing.
Can I just say, the best injury that I've ever had is that
best.
Well, I can look back now and laugh, but I'm missing...
So can we.
And there's a chunk of... This thumb is shorter than this one, and it's lopsided.
Show the camera, because that is just weird to see.
And all you see is really the scar. You have to really look for it to work.
Show your thumbs off, because it's weird.
Right, so one of my thumbs is slightly shorter than the other.
Do it again, so that there's contrast.
Oh my God.
Up on
I can't believe I never noticed that.
Up on the cameras, up on the cameras.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's contrast, yep.
Yeah.
You've managed to block part of your thumb off because you're a bit of a fool.
And I still remember the day I managed this. I just repaired a puncture on my bicycle, and as I was trying to get the chain back onto the sprocket, the top of that thumb got caught between the sprocket and the chain, and the momentum of the wheel spinning dragged the whole lot round the sprocket. The point of the sprocket went straight through my thumb, straight through my nail, and very rather clumsily sliced the top of my thumb off. It was held on by the tiniest thread of skin, and I can remember looking at it and my brain going, if I were you, I'd run and find Mum about now, because any second that's going to hurt.
Yeah, so stop making him cringe. Andrew Weaver's got a question there.
Andrew Weaver asks, hi Jenny, I've just joined the Birmingham Model Railway Club. What rolling stock would you recommend for a beginner to detail and weather?
Oxford Rail.
Oxford Rail.
Oxford Rail.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you, because Oxford Rail, they're a decent, detailed model, but they're also fairly inexpensive. So it doesn't matter if you make a mistake. And one of the things that I always find, I think the key with a lot of things, but railway modelling as well, is confidence. And if you're confident in yourself, actually, a lot of things which seem difficult become very easy, because in your head you think, I can fix this. And there's no right or wrong way of doing things. And I think what tends to make people think, oh, I've made a hash of that, I'm never trying it again, is they bail out. Because they lack the confidence to fix the problem and believe in themselves, they end up going, oh God, I've made a hideous mess, I'm going to walk away now, and don't fix the problem.
And on that, why not start with the hideous mess, which is any weathered wagon by any manufacturer ever, especially, and I apologise Oxford Rail, especially the Oxford Rail ones, because actually they're such good quality wagons. They're available at really good prices.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a weathered wagon that I've ever been happy with. Not one.
Let me just... one moment.
Oh God, she's going to prove things on, isn't she? Every time.
So I'm going to show to Simon first. Where's the camera? That is a factory weathered 16-ton mineral wagon. So you can see...
Oh, shut up. That's not factory.
That is factory. Look at the rust. Read it.
That's rather good, actually. Who makes that then? Is that Backman?
That's Backman. And it's done through tampo printing. So...
Oh, that's really annoying.
The rust patches are tampo printed on, and then they do a very light weathering by airbrush. So it's actually part of the livery. The livery is the rust.
I quite like that.
Yeah, they've only come out, as I say, comparatively recently, maybe in the last 6 or 7 years. So most Backman 16-ton mineral wagons that are factory weathered look like they've just had an argument with an airbrush. But these, the rust patches, are actually tampo printed on. And
I do want to throw it out there, Jen. The best wagons I've ever seen weathered were by a chap called Tom Foster, who used to have a Fred and R web on the LNR forum, and he did a few of those, and they were absolutely exquisite. And I just don't think you can beat that little bit of modelling.
Oh yeah, yeah, because I'm just trying to see if I've got any of the ones. Oh, just one moment.
Well, while you're looking there, we've got a question from Melchester Model Railway saying, do you think Ali Pali will be affected by the coronavirus?
Oh, I've heard somebody else saying this.
Pass.
I've spoken to Lawrence, and Lawrence says that, Lawrence is fairly high up in the MRC. Is he actually the president of the MRC, or?
I don't think he was president. I think he was treasurer at one point, or membership secretary. I'm sorry, Lawrence. But yeah, he's quite high up.
Yeah, and I did ask him actually, because I heard that same rumour via our friend Derry, who'd heard it on the grapevine. And so I thought, well, instead of guessing, I thought, let's just ask Lawrence. So I sent him a message, and I got a reply back saying basically that's news to us. So it's not something that's being expected.
I mean, we don't know. No one knows.
Yeah.
They cancelled the Geneva Motor Show because, to be fair, it's a very high capacity venue with a lot of people, and people are erring on the side of caution.
Yeah.
A lot of sporting events have been cancelled. A lot of exhibitions have been cancelled. In the UK, the number of cases we've got is up to, I think it's 40 or 44.
Yeah.
And it's still a decidedly low number, but that's because a lot of precautions have been put in place. So there is always that possibility that we're not going to know, I reckon, until either the day or a couple of days before.
Yeah.
Because we simply don't know how it's going to go there. We can't predict the future.
And the thing is, I think, unfortunately, and the media's got a lot of blame to shoulder on this one, is that they make out like it's incredibly dangerous, and yeah, to an extent, but you're more likely to get flu than you are to get coronavirus. And, winter flu is a thing that happens every year, but it doesn't...
It kills people
Yeah,
by a margin than coronavirus.
and it's more contagious than coronavirus as well.
It's the unknowns.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I think a lot of this is, people they're scared of things they don't understand.
Speaking of this virus, Leslie Gilpin has another question that's kind of an add-on to it.
Okay.
When will Tizer virus come along?
Tell me the punchline.
That is the punchline. Tizer instead of Corona.
Oh, right. So Corona was a soft... Oh, it took a while there.
Yes.
Anyway, going back to weathering...
Well, actually, I've got a question for you about that. Actually, a comment that you guys might want to talk about.
Okay.
Charleston Eastgate says, with weathering, buy a couple of cheaper wagons for an exhibition in the junk box under the tables.
Yeah.
They're usually a couple of quid each. Practice on them first.
Definitely. And actually, some of these that look quite, like cheap toy-like wagons can be massively improved by very careful weathering. So it's a good test bed to be able to hone skills. And, I guess nobody comes out of the starting gate and just their first piece of work is the most amazing thing that anybody's ever seen. It comes from practice. And
no one becomes a Jeff Endicott or a Tony Wright overnight.
Exactly. That's it. And the light came on the camera, so I don't know what's going on with that. We get a lot of technical issues.
Well, this is the first time that we've done this, so we're going to have issues.
Yeah.
All of the cameras have gone off. That's why I started moving around.
But the thing is, when you change cameras, the lights come on.
Yeah.
I wonder, are the cameras... Well, actually, no, because that camera's plugged to the hub, so that should be working just fine. Why did you...
Because it went off.
Am I the only one people can actually see that?
Nope, they can't see you at all.
No,
Excellent.
well, no, they can see me, and they can see the chat, but the background has gone blank. Even though... I see I've got lights on the cameras, so I can actually, if I look at the cameras, I can tell which one I need to talk to.
Yeah, they've all gone off, and I don't know what's going on. Are all of them plugged to this?
They are.
Okay.
So,
Yeah? Oh, all right. Can I have a copy?
So,
Yeah.
which one are you, is that, there's no light on, it's not selected. Back where you are, plug it back into the one it was in, because you're not even getting a light on now. I wonder if it is a driver issue with the USB hub.
We'll reinstall them again, and we'll see what happens. Not on?
No, try, no, we've got a light on that camera.
Yeah, but it's not broadcasting anything.
What possessed you to change cameras?
I changed the camera, Jen. I keep telling you, I changed the camera because it went off. That's why I changed it.
I think it's a driver issue. So are you still there, Simon?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to weathering, we finally got a camera to come back. So these are essential. I mean, they were different running number, but these two wagons started out life exactly the same colour. And
they call me 21 tons.
Yeah, I do actually quite like these. And that one has been weathered by me, just like a gentle kind of...
Right. Yeah.
And that is straight out of the box. So I'm just going to show them to... I've got to work out which camera's on now. I'll show these to the main camera so people at home can see. So basically, that's the out-of-the-box one. And that is the one that's had a very light weathering wash. And you can see it kind of brings out all of the detail. This is actually really hard to show. But there we are, just a simple idea. And that's with Humbrol weathering wash. So I'm just going to put them over there so they don't rock.
Can I do a quick shout out, Jen?
Yeah, sure.
Can I just say, Peter Carlisle, hello.
Dundee Road,
I've got your WhatsApp. He was on 18 with me. I'm really sorry I've not responded over WhatsApp, but I thought it'd be more fun to say, hi Pete, I miss you. You need to meet up for a beer soon.
Oh, great lad, great lad. 'Cause I think him and I knew each other at arm's length through YouTube before Biggest Little Railway, but I'd never met him before Biggest Little Railway. I'm as far as I'm aware. But oh, I'm being handed.
He's a terrific lad. When we were doing the filming, he and I every so often we'd have a little joke with each other about something going on. And he was really helpful. He worked so hard. But that was 80. You know, gosh, we had. And this isn't a criticism of any of the other teams, but Lawrence's 18. We just all got on from the start, and it really was such an amazing trip. When we had Pete and Amy and Jill and me, you know, all singing in the back of the minibus at one point. You know,
see, I think that
it was great fun.
I think all the teams had that kind of dynamic, and it's one of the things that I found is that leaving that shoot, you know, I left with like 70 or 80 new friends, and I know in the D team we got on really well, and like you say, you know, like sing songs in the minibus, and there was a great sense of camaraderie.
Hugely.
So, you know, I'm still in touch with people off the D team, so like Ollie, Pete Colton, Mark Lee, you know, people like that. I still, Alex as well was on my team. And, you know, we all got on really well. And I think it's like when you do any of these things that are really intensive and you're in almost not a hostile environment, but a very difficult environment, which it was. I mean, we were under canvas, and camping is not my favourite experience by a long way, and certainly not in the Scottish Highlands when it's... there was one morning we woke up and it was nearly a frost. I remember waking up at about 5 a.m. with my teeth...
That was after Martin's party.
Yeah, I think my teeth were chattering, and I kind of buried myself in every single item of clothing that I brought with me, and I was still absolutely frozen. And it was just unreal how cold it was. I mean, there was times where I actually was very tempted to go and fall asleep sat on a toilet, because at least the toilet block had some kind of heating.
So I was in a tent with some of the lads from the other teams, and it was, oh God, we had the lovely network rail engineer, Andy Peck.
Yes.
A really tall lad. Oh God, was he in team Steel B?
He wasn't in D, but did you have Ollie as well? You had Ollie.
We had Ollie,
yeah, because he was on D team with me. And he was great chap.
Great.
Yeah.
Remember to click the like button, guys.
Oh yeah, apparently I haven't been saying that. Don't forget to click the like button and share this stream to let everybody know that we've got an all-new setup here on Weir Yard up in the loft. And if you haven't already done so, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click that bell, and you'll be the first to know about new videos as and when they go up. So I've got to do the corporate whoring.
Smile.
So, and also, don't forget, you can also buy my books. They're available through Amazon, through Waterstones.
They're very good. They're really,
have you actually read them?
Brilliant books.
Did have you read them?
Yes, you gave me a lovely selection of books. Well, you gave me your first one.
Which one was... Oh no, my very first one's not even in print anymore.
Yeah, it is.
Right, stay there. Hang on, I'm going to go find it. I think you signed it for me.
Yeah, I signed a lot of them actually. I think it's I'm so prolific at signing my books that it's probably harder to find an unsigned copy.
This is true.
So what comments we got coming through? I'll read a few comments whilst
yes,
we've got a moment. So I'm just keeping up to date. Right. Dundee Road says, yeah, it was a great time. Oh, brilliant.
Found it.
Well done. Welcome back.
Right, okay, so can they actually see me on this live stream?
They can in a moment.
The cupboard monkey's about to hold you up to the camera. So
this is why she keeps me around.
See this? Can you see it?
They can
There we
see
go.
it, yes.
Oh, Bringing
Right.
Home the Stars. That's actually
Yeah,
about
yeah.
my 8th or 9th book.
Oh God, is it really? I'm so sorry, Jen.
Oh, don't worry. You know, you could actually just hold up the actual book. There's one over there somewhere.
I can't hold
Can I
that
just
up.
say, I treasure this book because it's signed.
Oh,
and really
wow.
lovely.
It's one of those where she's actually signed it in a way that you can read it.
Oh, but that's the thing as well, actually. I'm guessing that you have the same thing, Simon. When you sign one of your books, you don't give them the same signature that's on your checkbook, do you? You have a proper author's signature, don't you?
No
Yes.
comment.
Oh, no, it was one of the things, right, when I started doing,
Yeah.
I got booked to do a countrywide signing tour with Waterstones in about 2008 for that book. And what I was actually told was, people aren't interested in the weird squiggle that you put in your checkbook. What they want is something which vaguely, looks like your name.
Looks like a mess. Yeah.
So I have two signatures, and not a lot of people know this. There is the signature that I sign documents and when I used my checkbook, I don't anymore, but when I used to use my checkbook, it would be the signature in that. And it's just this indecipherable squiggle. It looks like somebody going, "Come on, biro, work, damn you." And then I've got the one which you see in that book, which is what I call my author signature, which is completely different. And it's because when you get an author to sign a book, you kind of want it to look like their name and not like somebody just like scribbled in the front. Did I give you Twinkle Little Star as well, which is the follow-up
You
to it?
did, yes, which is actually upstairs on my nightstand because I've been reading these.
Oh wow, I feel so honoured. I'm a little bit embarrassed. It's like you don't have to like say, "Oh yes, it's great," if you don't like it.
No, but I love your writing style, which is why I keep going back to it. Just on the signature one, I have an anecdote, and you will laugh, I hope. So, a couple of years ago, this was something like 5 years after I published the first book, a couple of them turned up on eBay. Now, one was signed by me, and the other was signed by my artist, Dean Walker. Anyone who knows Dean knows he's really humble, really lovely guy. There are very few of those books that he's actually ever signed.
Right.
Okay? Right? Now, the one that was signed by me went unsold, and the one that was signed by Dean went for 70 quid.
Really?
So I have empirical evidence that my own signature on my own book devalues my book.
I've found my books in charity shops before now.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, I've
no.
sold thousands of them. I did a nationwide book signing tour over several years for 2 different books. So I've sold a lot of books in my time. I mean, I know that the rubbishy work that I do these days may hide that fact. But I did actually. I can remember going into an Oxfam and squeeing inside. Oh my God! It's one of my books, and I pulled it off, and it was signed. And it was like to somebody, best wishes, Jennifer Kirk. And I looked at it, I was trying to rack my brains thinking, who the hell was this person? But in some respects, I felt like I'd made it as an author when my books were trickling through into charity shops.
That's a really lovely thought.
So for me, I wasn't bothered by the fact it was there. I felt validated because my book was kind of percolating through the system.
Melchester Model Railway asks, what books does Simon write?
What books does Simon write?
There is only one published at the moment, which is Tale of the Unnamed Engine. It's still currently on Kindle. We've done 2 print runs. We're not going to do any more for the time being. The next children's book is called Great Western Glory. It's coming out in when we finish it. But the really exciting news is that my first history book I finally finished it. Edward Thompson, wartime chief mechanical engineer, and I am in the process of talking to a company about publishing it. So watch this space.
Excellent. So I know I've had questions from people about that very book, so it's good to know that it is going to see the light of day sometime soon.
8 years, Jen. 8 years I've been writing this damn book.
Yeah, sometimes they're a labour of love. I've really released books which have been about that in the making, where from the moment I got the idea and started writing notes to when it actually went to the publisher and went to print have been like those sort of lengths of time. So it's not unusual.
20 years.
20 years.
That's my record.
Your record, 20 years.
I started the Life of Naughty Mouse comics in 1996, and we didn't publish it until 2018.
Oh, what the actual book? Well, it was a web comic, so it's not like it was just sat on a computer somewhere.
Yeah,
even
so.
That was when the first compilation.
It just takes that long to develop, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was actually quite a red letter day, because obviously I'm a co-writer for that. I write scripts and stuff for it. And to finally see an actual physical book of the collection, and to go, God, we've done a lot of these.
Yeah. Does Simon have a website? So asks Flymo Chairman 1.
Well, I don't update it very often, and I really should get around to updating it. But
Join the club.
www.britishrailwaystories.com.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I'll get round to updating it after this. The one that I ask people to kind of follow really is either my Instagram or my Twitter handle, which is @CopleyHill.
Oh, you're one of these hip down with the kids people with Instagram. I never got into
I'm not doing a very
Instagram.
good job of it.
I never got into Instagram. It's like, I think I'm of that age where they just like, there's a guy going, nah, you're too old.
I've got to say, every time I put any kind of selfie up on Instagram or Twitter, I do look back at it and I go, God, I look tired, and there's a few more wrinkles, and there's this guy who's in his 30s trying desperately to look like Iron Man, and probably looking more like Jeremy Beadle by the day.
Oh no, I think you look great. I think you're not supposed
Thank
to.
you, Jen.
You're not supposed to like your own picture. I think people who like their own picture every time, they're kind of a bit weird. If you look at your own
nose.
No,
you can't get on with the nose.
No, I think everybody has something about themselves that they hate. For me, it's my hair. I hate my hair. It's unmanaged.
It's lovely, Jen.
No, but it takes a lot of effort to look this rubbish. But I always look at you and I always think you always look really great, I have to say.
Oh, thank you, Jen. Right back at you.
Grand. But have we got any more questions?
Here's one that might be interesting. Where's it gone? Hang on. Give me a second. Mark Wilson says, when writing books, do you think of the end first and work backwards?
Oh, what, the Agatha Christie method?
She didn't do that.
Oh no, she wrote it to the end not knowing who the murderer was and made it so that anybody could be the murderer.
Yeah.
And then decided in the last chapter who was actually going to be the murderer.
But I did for this children's book, but I didn't for the previous one. I did for the second one because I knew how I wanted it to end. Because to be brutally honest, Dean and I would quite like to end the British Railway Stories book series with book 2. So we've written an ending that is that kind of ties up a lot of what we've done over the last 10 years.
Right.
And if we come back and do a third one, it still sort of leaves it open.
Right.
But we knew we had to create an ending that people would be kind of satisfied with.
Arthur Conan Doyle had a similar thing. He decided that Sherlock Holmes was going to end. So he had him fall off...
Off the water at the fight with Moriarty.
Welcome back,
yeah. And then, all of a sudden, his other stuff didn't sell, so Sherlock Holmes didn't really die.
Yes, he brought him back because he realised actually it was a good money spinner.
Yeah, I kind of need to pay the rent, dude.
Yeah, so I'm gonna. This is one of the things that if you're actually here in person, you get lots of sweeties and.
Yeah, it's well worth actually visiting.
And she cooks stuff like lasagna and pizzas and stuff,
God.
so you get a good feed as
I'm
well.
missing out.
Yeah.
And you
chicken
get.
and vegetables.
Oh, that sounds awfully healthy.
Anyone else fancy a pizza?
No, I'm full. And also, you get to see
Might
this
order one.
wonderful model railway in its
Well, I'm
entirety.
loving seeing them go round then.
How much are you actually seeing? Are you actually watching the live stream at all?
So what I can actually see is your line of switches,
Yeah.
and your face and your shoulders, and in the background I can see a few frames going around. I keep seeing, I think it's the 2-card blue and yellow thing, and now it's just the ceiling. Still see. Oh no, that's oh, lovely.
Tell you what, we'll point you that way for a
Oh.
while, so Jen actually has to look at the cameras and talk to people.
Oh no, now I'm on
No,
the
you
case.
just right.
You didn't need to see it, don't worry.
How much cable have we?
That's about it.
Where can we?
That's the limit.
So I'm.
Absolutely. Okay. Oh, look at that. That's nice.
I mean, there's my. If I squidge
I'll
over
go
a
and
little
get
bit,
I'll go and get the stand.
you should be able to see my
Ooh,
mountain
what's that
power
at the back?
at the back.
Yeah. I
I'm
see blood and custard.
Oh, that's the train that's got the DP1 and the Taft Narrow on the back.
Ooh. Oh, really nice.
So this is my turntable here, and just see if I can get a good shot for you.
Oh, what's on the turntable? Is that an 04?
That's another 04. So there's two 04s there. There's an 04 there, an 04
Grey
there,
leather.
which is the one I showed you. There's another 04 in the shed. That's a War Department 280. A couple of Lancashire and Yorkshire pugs. D8000 class 20. That's a. I can never remember whether it's a 3F or a 4F.
Oh, that's a 4F if it's the bigger boiler.
I couldn't tell you. That's a B17. There's a G2.
Isn't that a flying fortress?
In fact, there's two G2As back to back in the shed. Oh, and there's Duchess of Montrose, Princess Coronation at the back.
G2A. Oh, is that the Super D? The G2A?
Yeah, it's like a big 080 with tender. It's the ex-London and
The
North West.
preserved one that Waterman have put a lot of money into a store.
Yeah, actually, the one at the back is the model of that. But we're just putting you into a stand so we can move you around a little bit and prop you
Oh,
up.
thank you.
So,
Oh, that's really nice.
so hopefully,
25.
let me just. I'll try and get you kind of more upright.
That's lovely. No, that's perfect. Oh, thank you,
They
Jane.
are cool teddy
Oh,
presents.
look at that.
So,
What a roller.
yeah, and also, like, watch the turntable. This is like everybody else on the live streams go, what are they talking about? I can make the turntable go round. Can you see
Oh,
that?
that's lovely.
Also,
Oh,
The people at home can't see that. We don't have a camera on that end. We need to get one.
yeah.
Yeah, we
So
definitely need
that's
to get a
all-
camera on
oh,
your
hang
end.
on. Is that? Are you manually turning the handle for?
Yeah, it's
That's
Meccano.
amazing.
There's
Oh.
a mechanism I built out of Meccano, which turns the
Is it
turntable.
really?
Yeah, and that's actually my childhood Meccano.
That's amazing.
What happened was my dad was clearing out the loft of his garage, and he found this big box full of Meccano. It's got all gears and
lovely.
stuff. And he said,
Oh, I see Deltic.
yes, Deltic is on the front of that blood and custard train.
My late uncle worked for English Electric, and he worked on Deltic.
Oh, right.
Okay, but
He
Mark,
was also the draftsman who worked for Pratt and Whitney and, oh God, Avro, I think it was. And he worked on both the Harrier and the Avro Arrow.
Yeah,
of course, there
Avro
never was an Arrow.
very interesting. The Avro's a company. The Avro car that they made looks like a flying saucer that goes around on the ground. It's the weirdest looking car I've ever seen.
Yeah. They should
Mark
have
would-
stuck to aircraft.
Yeah, just a bit. Mark Wilson says, can you pan the camera to show Les tied up under the layout?
There's this running joke that we kind of have Les tied up in a corner producing railway modelling items. The reason for this was when we were filming GMRC, what would happen was I'd be doing the live stream with Brian, and then Les would occasionally pop his head in, covered in glue and bits of polystyrene, because he'd been whittling the scenery, the actual innards of the scenery. And it got into this running joke that we had him locked away down in a dungeon. There was like this railway modelling dungeon, and only let him out for air from time to time.
And it's not true. We don't have a dungeon.
But the thing was,
we keep him in the kitchen.
Yes. But the thing was, we couldn't tell anybody what he was really doing because it was a secret project. You know, there was a big embargo on it. So we made this big cover story that we had him kind of down in a dungeon making model railway items.
Oh, can I throw something out there really quickly, just while we're talking about embargoes and not being able to talk about stuff?
Yeah.
You're not going to breach one, are you?
No, it's just, it really, really saddened me after the final of GMRC that 30 seconds of television, right, suddenly defined my entire career. And I went from being the chap who came in and really helped with mod rock and has his hand drilled and was getting on with his whole team, to becoming somewhere between Dick Dastardly, Dr. No, and Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, they did a real bad job on you.
I felt that it was very unfair in the editing because that was not in any way how you work. And they took a lot of the comments out of context. But at the same time, for very complicated reasons, they edited out the real troublemaker, such that nobody knew the real story. And I've spent the last best part of a year, it was about 8 months or so, having to tell people, no, Simon was not a bully, he was not a villain. You just don't get to see what was really going on. But hopefully that message is getting out there. But yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate. When I watched that episode, I was actually quite shocked because it's like, hold on, Simon was perfectly honourable all the way through that. What are you doing?
It was what it was. And Jen, can I just say publicly, thank you so much for everything that you said. Because actually, it was very hurtful to see some of the things that were coming out. So there were memes, there were lots and lots of posts on Twitter, and I feel like you and I would probably agree that it was a really difficult episode to film. And I think that even amongst the team, you know, those who might have disagreed with certain things would realise that there was a lot of pressure. But at the end of the day, we're coming together to meet at Ali Pali, the team that, you know, actually really got on so well. And we're all still friends, and we're all still really talk, and it is a regret of mine that I don't get remembered for the first episode or the second episode. I get remembered for a 30-second bit of film. But it is one of those things, sadly.
Yeah.
That's David.
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, you're not the only one who's been badly trolled. I've had, Les and I in particular, I've had a lot of problems, especially in the last month or so, with people who, you know, I devoted my live stream last week to clearing the air. And I just can't believe how toxic some elements of railway modelling can become. I mean, it's supposed to be a hobby, it's supposed to be people having fun, and yet some people just take it far too far.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't say this sort of thing that you are happy to write on the internet to someone you meet in public,
exactly.
Why are you writing it?
Exactly. I mean, I've even seen people threatening to take direct action, and I'm thinking, do these people actually have the nerve to do that at Alexandra Palace, or more likely we will never hear a peep out of these people, because it's basically big words from small people hidden away in their parents' basement. But it just struck me just how toxic some elements of railway modelling really are.
Unfortunately, that does happen with every hobby. Patrick Furlong saying here, each hobby has their toxic members. There's a problem with it, is that it can become your entire life. It's very easy in the modern world to have your entire life revolve around one thing. You can spend all day looking at videos, you can spend all day talking to people about it.
Yeah.
So it becomes like part of an integral part of your personality, and if everything doesn't go your way, suddenly people get angry.
Yeah, and I think as well,
Hi, Patrick.
It's very easy when you're on the internet, and it's something that I found doing YouTube, and I've got quite big on YouTube now, and I guess you're the same, because your channel's got a lot of followers as well. But
the biggest problem with my one is because I work for Network Rail now, I'm quite restricted in what I can actually put out there in regards with our media policy.
yeah,
So quite a lot of my stuff takes a lot longer to make, and then if and when it comes out, it doesn't necessarily always hit home, it's not been as good. I have an amazing fan base. There's something like 13,000 subscribers who have been waiting so patiently for films. I haven't been providing it because I just haven't had time. And I apologise for that. But unfortunately, as you well know, Jen, because you and I, we find things to fill our time with, and we work really, really hard. But we can't always get the time for everything that you want to.
no, that's the thing. I mean, one of the things that people always find it quite amazed by me is I do not watch television. I haven't watched television properly
For at least an hour and a half when we had an episode of House.
for about 6 or 7 years. We did away with the ability to watch live TV. And
What's Simon's channel? What's Simon's YouTube channel?
What's your...
Simierski, Simierski. And you'll recognise me because it's the slightly balding fat guy with the Robert Downey Jr. Beard. I think the last video I uploaded was it's either me driving a Merc or it's a wonderful little narrow gauge railway.
The day I realised I needed a Mercedes-Benz in my life.
That's the one. I have actually, Jen, you're going to be really surprised. I have actually started working on a Mercedes-Benz project.
I'm not surprised. I'm sure you've talked on and off a little bit about this. Were you either planning this or had started doing something last time we met up?
So I drove this wonderful old Merc in the summer last year. I decided I really wanted a Merc in my life, and I managed to find a really, really cheap old one. So one thing led to another, and yeah, I had too many cars.
The thing about an old Merc is that they're like a money pit. So
all old cars are money pits.
Yeah, old cars are a labour
I
of
thought
love.
I was safe today. I was driving the 240. I was at the gym. I got to the barrier to get out of the car park. Right, you have the ticket to put into the machine.
Yeah.
Right. So I pressed the button to wind down the electric window. And what didn't happen, Jen?
The electric window didn't go down.
The electric window didn't go down. There's a queue of cars behind me. I have to reverse out. I park it in another bay. And it's the fuse box. It's one little red European continental style fuse that's just blown. So I replaced it because obviously, being a Volvo 240 owner, I have a bag of about 1,000 of them in the boot.
Yeah, I've got the same.
Oh God.
With me, it's for some reason my 850 likes to blow the fuse on the interior light, the ones that come on when you open the door.
Yeah. Mine, the 740 does exactly the same. Yeah.
And there's no fault with it. It's just for whatever reason it goes, I don't like this fuse. I'm going to let it blow.
Let it
There's an odd
flow,
fault, I reckon, in mine somewhere, because it just happens so regularly that it just must be something wrong. But I'm damned if I'm going to go through the loop and find it at this stage.
That's it. It'll just be something weird and minor somewhere. Oh, I've lost the comments. Hold on a moment. But,
Sorry, guys, we went back onto cars. I apologise.
I know. Mark Wilson says, I personally think modelers don't generally get on when they work together. Actually, no, we did as a team.
No,
GMRC, we actually...
With respect, Mark, rubbish from my point of view, you might have experienced differently, and that is completely legit, but no, we had a great time, didn't we, Jen? It was a great team.
It was, actually, and people have asked me, would I do it again? And there's a part of me thinking, oh, God, that was like... There's a lot of stress, but there was also... The experience was amazing, and the people who I was doing it with were by and large amazing. So
yeah, absolutely.
I think for that alone, I would have to say, yeah, I'd go and do it again, if only to try and recreate that great experience. I mean, you know, we were having like great evenings together at the hotel. Afterwards, we were hanging out with some of the other teams, and you know, it was a great experience. And I do hope that there's going to be a series 3, because you know, I think with a lot of these TV series, the first series is kind of the proof of concept, but the second series is where everything hooks up, and it really does feel like series 2 of GMRC. Everything hooked up. People got what we were doing, both the audience but also the teams as well, and you saw that across the board. People were getting very adventurous. They were really making a complete, making a spectacle of showing this is what you can do if you don't let yourself get constrained by like, oh, but we've always done it like this. And it was making things really imaginative. And I'm so hoping that there is a series 3, because I think it's gonna, you know, we've laid the groundwork with this imaginative, really thinking outside the box that will really build and build.
Yeah, us and a few of the other teams, I've looked at some of the other layouts that were built throughout the course of Series 2, and there was some extraordinary stuff. Just very quickly, Mark, I'm sorry, that was a bit harsher than I meant it to be. You're absolutely legit in your views. You know, there are some models who don't get on together, but I think when you throw the right kind of people together, the ones who want to create something and are willing to kind of talk to each other and compromise, then you can build some amazing stuff. And actually, Jen, just thinking about it, wasn't one of the teams in Series 2, they built an actual pit, didn't they, and a mine shaft?
Yeah, that was Who's Counting Rivets. And it was like this sort of shaft to the centre of the world. So I'm being mobbed by my childhood Teddy.
Teddy has something to say to you.
No, stop it. Stop it. I'm being mobbed by my child. You probably can't see any of that, Simon, because we've...
No. Oh, hello, Teddy. I remember you from episode 2.
Oh, yeah, Teddy actually did appear on GMRC. On the Halloween layout. It was another one of the subtle references, because he's the same age as me, and he was bought for me by my grandparents at Strensham Services on the M5 as they drove up from South Wales to be there when I was born.
That's so lovely.
Yeah, and you know, his head's been sewn back on so many times. He's got a scene where his head popped open, he's lost legs and arms, and what's inside him apparently, if he should ever catch fire, God forbid, apparently he gives off cyanide. He's you know the stuff that was a big deal in the 80s, sofas full of the toxic foam? Well, that's what's in Teddy.
Oh, that stuff.
That's what Teddy is made of. So, but let's have a look at some of the comments. I'm very mindful. I've not been able to really look at a lot of the comments.
I hope Mark's okay.
Mark Wilson, unfortunately GMRC did a job on Simon. Before tonight I only remember the tree and drill issues, but Simon comes over as a really good sort. So brilliant.
Oh, thank you, Mark.
Ben Davis. I like transport. Has had to head off. Thanks for coming on. It's been great to have you on. D87 Kelly. I have tended to focus more on the people I meet at shows, especially the fine scale and smaller ones, where there's a much better social aspect. Wistaston Junction says night to Ryan. I think we've had a few people. In fact, yeah, it's a school night, so. I think a few people have got to get an early night. You stop
What time
it.
is it, Jen, out of interest?
It's
It is
10 past 9.
I've got to get to sleep at some point. Oh, God.
But look, it's been great having you on, actually, because we've been trying to kind of sort this out for a while, and it's just getting the technology to work.
Well, now that we've got it sorted, I will come on more often, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
And you'll have to come up and visit and actually see this layout in person. I mean, you're kind of getting a very small aspect of this.
Did I spy an A4 in back then somewhere?
Probably.
There is. There's Miles Beaver going round.
Excellent.
But I also there's more over here actually. If the covered monkey wants to move,
I don't remember this is
there's one there, which is
very
number 20. Which one's number 20? Is that
Guillemot?
The one behind is number 31, which is...
Wait, hang on. 31. 31. Oh, God. This one's 31.
I'll give you a clue. It's a bird.
Australia's name one. What was it?
It's a bird.
It is a bird. Okay.
Yes. Golden plover.
34.
It's golden plover.
What's one?
Golden plover.
Is it plover or plover?
I was told it was plover.
Plover. Golden plover.
Oh, I was told it's pronounced plover.
No.
It's a tricky one. Then there's another one here, which is number 3. Which one is number 3? Now, there's 2 possible names for this, so there's a clue. It's one that was renamed earlier in its life. And then, so I
Is it Morrow?
Is it what?
Is it Morrow? Number 3. Oh, God, number 3.
It was a
The
bird.
Road Mackies was number 1. What the hell was number 3?
Andrew K. McCosh.
Oh, God. I need to brush up on my A4.
It's all right, I wouldn't have been able to have told you. The only one I really know is number 7, which is Sir Nigel Gresley.
Number 7, your time is...
Oh, and 22 is Mallard, isn't it? 22
That's right. And number 9 is in South Africa.
Who is number 1? You are number 6.
And then, actually,
and
I've got...
my favourite A4 game, number 6006, Sir Ralph Wedgwood.
Ah, yes. Yes. I've got... 1, 2, 3, 4... I've got 6 of them in my collection. So, I'm trying to think what the
I'll
other...
have to bring one of the Thompson Pacifics with me when I come up.
Which one's that? I've got an A1. Is that a Thompson?
No. Thompson had a A2/2, which was the P2 rebuilds.
Is that the one that Hornby's just announced?
Which was V2-based design. A2/3 was the standard A2, which was based on the rebuilt P2s. And then his last specific design was Great Northern, which was a Thompson A1, but then reclassified A1/1. And that was actually based on the A4.
Right. Right, I'm with you. Because the A2/2, that's one that Hornby have just announced this year that they're bringing out in model form.
Yeah, very
Which
cool.
I'm guessing is why you were at Hornby, but wouldn't tell Will... Oh, right, sorry, I just put my foot in it.
There's several reasons why I might or might not have been at Hornby, but it wouldn't be fair, either on Hornby or myself or anyone listening to necessarily talk about that, but I'm very pleased to see one of the loves of my life, which is 35028 plan line, is being made in model form this year in their centenary range.
Interestingly
and that's
enough,
wonderful.
just one moment. Oh.
Cool.
This was the first time that they actually released it.
Lovely, yeah.
So that's over in the corner. And this is the model that the Centenary range is duplicating, because this was the very first super detail from China model that Hornby brought out, isn't it? And it is clan line. So,
really weird stuff. It's one of their best-selling locos, and I had no idea.
really?
Apparently, they sold an extraordinary number of these.
I can imagine. I mean, they crop up second-hand an awful lot, which is usually a sign that they've sold a lot. So that's where this one's come from. And it's not actually one that I'm going to be reviewing. People think I've got this. I do actually have a big pile of locomotives over there, which are largely things which are waiting for me to film reviews of. But that's not one of them. That's actually here because that belongs to Les, and it predates DCC being a thing. So you have to hardwire it.
owns that model.
That is one of Les's models. He's also got. Did you come to the East Lancs Railway and get the cab ride on City of Wells?
No, I didn't. I would have loved to.
Oh, one moment. Ugh. In here somewhere is a model of City of Wells, which also belongs to Les.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. Beautiful logo.
So,
Oh, look at that.
so there is Les's City of Wells. So I'm just going to hold that up for the main camera as well.
City of Wells, and I'm going to be seriously nerdy right now.
Yeah.
As it was in the 1950s and 60s, when it wasn't fitted with the chingle arrangement of cab slab.
The what, sorry?
Because City of Wells is the diesel fitted one, I think, now.
Oh, is it?
And the Hornby model doesn't account for that.
Right. It is the
I'm
only...
sure someone will correct me in the comments.
It's actually the... I think it's the... I'm just trying to think now. Yeah, it's the only steam locomotive, mainline steam locomotive, that I've ever ridden in the cab of as well.
Ah,
So,
well, you have to come down and see Plan Line at some
I
point.
would love
do a bit
to,
of
actually,
filming
yeah.
thing.
I mean, I've ridden in the cabs of a great many preserved diesels, but that's the only steam locomotive that I've ridden in the cab of. For some reason, I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm very good at chatting up loco crews that are driving diesels, just not so effective at chatting up those of steam locomotives. What
And
actually?
on that bombshell, I have unfortunately to head off.
I
It's been
completely
such a pleasure
understand.
this evening.
I
Thanks for
completely
letting me
understand.
come on.
Look, it's been great having you, and we're going to have to do this again. What we'll have to do
Yes,
is pick a time that you can actually come up and visit, and we'll spend a day playing trains, and then I can give you the hot seat, and it's a lot easier then to go through comments and stuff, and you can enjoy this great railway up here as well, and bring a few toys to play in it.
Will do.
No worries. Well, look, anyway, you take great care of yourself, and we'll catch you
Thanks,
later.
Dan.
Take care.
And thanks
Bye.
to everyone for asking comments.
No worries. It's been good to have you on. Look, you take care. Get a good night's sleep, and it's so you're back at work on the railways tomorrow, doing railway
I'll be on
stuff.
the construction site somewhere in the south of England, probably getting ready.
Oh, grand. Well, look, you take care. Have a great night. Speak to you
Good
later.
night, then.
Take
Cheers,
care. Bye.
Is he off working on the railroad?
Yeah. Right.
All the live long day. You've covered the place in trains. What are you doing?
I have.
Bobby?
Yeah. Right. So, I'm gonna. Ow. Ooh. I'm gonna retrieve my phone.
Your food.
The phone. So what I'm gonna do now is I'll try and major on comments. So we're going to iron out a lot of the wrinkles with the technology. So
Yeah, I'll put an iron.
So how many people have we got? We've got 166 people watching. Don't forget to click the like button, a share, and subscribe too. Chris Whittingham says, bye, Simon. Leslie Gilpin says, night, Simon. Paul Hinder, can't wait for Pete's next running video, Kelly. J94 says, bye, Simon. Flymo Chairman 1, goodbye from us. Is Simon the chap I saw on Lost Railways channel talking about the HS2? Ah, no, I don't think so. There is a guy I have seen talking about HS2, and it's not Simon, but they do have a little bit of a similar look. Adrian Chesterton, I had a memorable cab ride in 43002, top of the pops, between Great Malvern and Malvern Wells Junction as it swapped lines for the return to Paddington back in 1985 or 86. Oh, wow. Right, anybody who's been asking questions that I've not got to, I've been really bad tonight, so I do have to apologise for that. I'm really sorry. It's been really difficult trying to get to grips with this new technology. It's not quite working as we were hoping.
That and the fact that when you've got a guest on, you've got to interview the guest.
That's it, you know, you've got to kind of interview the guest. It's a lot more difficult that we couldn't get him on screen. We will try and get to the bottom of that. Somebody suggested we need a separate microphone. Now, we can do that.
We've got a new microphone on order.
We've got one on order, which is similar to the setup that we've got downstairs, which should work fine because it works downstairs. And hopefully that's all going to work.
Doesn't mean it's going to work here, though.
Hobbyman UK says, Jen, have you ever visited Swanage Railway? No, I haven't, but I did follow their extension with interest where they reconnected the line to the main line at, is it Norton Fitzwarren? There's kind of the stub of the original line was left, and they managed to join the two, so I did follow that with interest. I'm always very interested when preserved lines expand. I like to follow their progress. D827 Kelly. They ended up needing so many club nodes, they designed a bridge to allow multiple C-bus buses on a layout. It never covered... oh, right there. She's answering a question from somebody else. Bang got the junction, Carl Browns. It says, just finished my ironing watching you. Oh, that's grand.
Ah, so he's Iron Man.
Ah, yes, Iron Man. Where are all my Smarties gone?
In my belly.
The cupboard monkey has been eating my Smarties. So, so what are people thinking? Oh, I'm spitting bits of chocolate all over myself. So what do people think about the new arrangement? Is this much improved? I mean, I know we've had some technical issues.
Yeah, like when the cameras isn't working.
Weird thing is, it is working, but it isn't. I think there's a driver issue going on.
Yeah.
Possibly with the USB hub, somebody said.
Yeah, I remember installing the driver, so we'll have to reinstall it and see if it's an issue.
Yeah.
It's teething trouble. We literally only got this running yesterday, so
yeah,
we're gonna have issues.
And it worked on the test stream, although when we were setting up, it was causing issues.
Yes.
So we're going to get to the bottom of that. Ham Shackleton said, Smarties, they don't work, you know.
Patrick they do. They work to make you fat.
Yeah, Patrick Furlong says, looking quite all right, Jenny. Thank you very much. St. Mark Wilson says, the new arrangement is super. Grand. Well, and it's one of the things that I've been very conscious when we've done live streams up here before, is that you don't really get to see a lot of the model. Now, I know at the moment you're just basically seeing an area of the model that's, you're actually mostly seeing sidings and stuff. But you are getting to see a lot more of the trains going around. You can see a little bit behind me as well, off the main camera up there. And are we going to risk changing camera angles?
It won't work.
Will it not? Is it just stubbornly not working? Because that camera was working quite well before. So we're going to go for a change of camera angle. Because the lights come on. The light has come on the camera.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, what happens if you unplug and then replug that camera?
So we go back to the back one.
Lights come on. Give it a chance.
And this is the issue.
What about?
It's like it's just forgetting to undo one of them.
Yeah, what about the fiddle yard? Will the camera on the fiddle?
Oh, the fiddle yard won't work at all because there's no light there, so we can't see it, and that hasn't worked all day. So we're trying our best, but our biggest issue is that not everything's working. So I'm going to just remove this one. I think it's this one.
No. That's the one I'm talking at.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Right.
Unplug that one, and then plug it back in into the same thing. And then, no, pick it again.
Yeah.
Pick a different one and then back to it. Then go back to it. Flash,
it really
flash,
doesn't
flash.
like it. We have a problem. There's something wrong.
Houston, we have some kind of major issue.
Yeah, and this is our big issue.
What did you have to do to actually get things back up again?
Move them around.
Okay, go back where you are. You normally get like a flash of static on the screen. The lights are coming on there.
That one's coming on.
So you've basically moved it. What about if... Can you move that across to a different socket? Is there enough slack on that? They are quite tight. It's not really enough...
No, I can't.
So what you're going to do is leave it back where it was. This is weird. It's like you have to do a force reset by physically moving the USB, which is very, very strange.
Which we shouldn't have to do. And
No.
see, it's not coming in. There it is. It really doesn't like doing this. So we got that back.
Oh, come on. I was enjoying that angle.
You might have been, but I have to test that they're working. So that one's working again. And this one was working and now doesn't want to work. There it is. So we're going.
Right, so
we're getting there.
Let's just leave it. Don't touch anything.
I'm not going to touch it again. Take the fiddle yard cam off. The fiddle yard cam isn't even on.
The fiddle yard cam is plugged directly to the PC. That's nothing to do with it, really.
Yeah, and that one's not working either. We couldn't get anything from that earlier on. So something is wrong. We're going to work it out. It's just a driver issue, I think.
I
think we've the amount of modifications I had to do to make it run today. I think I may have screwed the driver. I'll reinstall it and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll do that. Once we come off the stream, we'll have a test of it, shall we? Hobbyman UK says, Jen, do you have a Class 33? Not anymore. I sold my Class 33. I got persuaded to sell it. To Brian, actually. He bugged me and bugged me.
Persuaded or badgered?
Badgered, I guess. He badgered me to sell it because he really wanted my Class 33 in engineer's grey. I eventually relented, sold it to him, and then he moaned and moaned about how I sold him a lemon. And it's like, well, you knew what the locomotive was like before you
wanted it. You literally wanted that particular one.
And then he sold it on. So he didn't want it that much.
No,
so I now don't have a Class 33, but I am looking at the new release Class 33s. That are coming out from Helgen, and I am quite tempted actually. There's a couple of them which I really do like the look of.
I'll tell you how she's been looking at these new releases. It's like, cool. How are you doing?
Okay, Joe.
That's how she's been doing it.
Ian Hilpus. Many years ago, my girlfriend and I just by chance had a Class 47 cab ride. The crew ignored my loco questions and were more interested in my girlfriend. That's life. Adrian Chesterton, much improved setup, but the Deltic is running too slow, being overtaken by the longest ever mineral train.
Also, I like this one from Charleston Eastgate, which I see you've definitely decided to ignore. You're not paying Zoe enough, Jenny. She's keeping the whole thing running. Yeah. You know, she doesn't let me out of here when the live stream's not on. In case things break, I've got to stay here. I'm not allowed out.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Who stops Les from escaping?
None of that's true, by the way.
D827 Kelly says, perhaps have a spot in one of the main cameras that can be used to show models on stream rather than the Jenny cam. So you could actually just have...
There is we may end up doing that, where we end up with a... what we're going to have is a roving camera.
Yeah, camera on a stick.
And one of the things I'm planning is for a clip to be able to put the roving camera face on to the turntable. And you'll have a special button you can press on here to go to turntable camera, where it will still have the running thing in the background, but instead of you being on screen, the turntable would be. And then you can show off a particular locomotive. But we've got a fair way to go, yeah.
Leslie Gilpin says, potential background noise issues if the Delta is sped up. Yeah, I'm trying to keep the train slow because, you see, if I speed them up, it gets quite noisy. What? Yeah. So, as you can imagine, it's probably best to keep the trains running a bit slower.
What?
Flymo Chairman 1, and so the Great Central Rail can now extend now. Yeah, they've got the new bridge in. It is good. I am following their progress. Robert Scott, Wiven Model Railway. You don't need text showing in 2 places on YouTube.
No, the issue that we've got, the reason we have the text on screen is that we have a large number of people who watch on a smart TV and they don't get to see the live chat for the chat. That's why that's there.
Yeah, just one of those things. Ham Shackleton says, you've broken it again.
Yeah, you have. You broke it. I don't know what you've broken.
Patrick Furlong wants to see more Cupboard Monkey. No, you don't want that.
If you wish to see more of the Cupboard Monkey, come and visit my live streams Tuesday to Sunday, where I do retro game playing and program new computer games.
D827 Kelly says maybe a power issue causing a bus reset. It is a powered USB hub that's up there that currently 3 cameras are plugged to, so it has a separate power supply.
We will work it out, don't worry.
Yeah, we're going to get to the bottom of this, don't worry about it. D827 Kelly says if the cables are too tight, it can cause problems with the signal. I mean, admittedly,
some are quite taut.
The thing that has to be remembered, though, is that there isn't really an issue per se with the USB bus because the camera that I'm on has never gone off. That we've had no problems with that.
That is true.
Wistarton Junction says it looks great. And then there's some comment about not paying you enough. D87 Kelly have 3 Helgen 33s. Yeah, they do look a great model. I've got the 27 and the 26 from Helgen. Actually, I've got quite a few Helgen models. Unlike some people on the internet, I actually really do like the Helgen models. I've got the 1361 pannier tank. I have got the Class 5 shunter. I've got the Class 7 shunter. I have got a Class 14, a Class 15. I've got a 26, a 27, a 28. What else have I got? I've got a Class 52 and a Class 76. All of which are Helgen. And the only issues I've had is the Class 14 has a few issues with jamming side rods, which I believe all of the early releases have. And that really is about it.
During my live streams, does Jenny become the Cupboard Monkey? She does not.
No, I'm
Jenny's
the Attic monster.
Monster.
Yes, that's right. I am the Attic Monster. Hobbyman UK. Jen, what is your favourite locomotive that you would never part with? The one that I would never part with, no matter what money was offered, is my my L&Y Pug number 51222. So I'm going to hold that up to. So that's the Pug, which I have done a full smart power pack fitting on. So if I put this on the track and select Loco 5122, stop it, then it does run incredibly well. And the reason for that is, I'm going to stop it, is that it's got a smart power pack in. So I'm going to see if I can hold that to the camera very quickly. And you can see the wheels are still turning. And it has just transformed it into one of the most amazing models on
you
on
do
DCC.
like that one. You have had a lot of fun with that.
But in terms of like most favourite like model aesthetically, it would have to be the Bachmann H1 Atlantic, I think. John Wilkes asks, anybody had a go at making the connoisseur kits? They look like a quality product. I've never been into kit building stuff.
Do you need a hand?
Patrick Furlong, #love for Zoe. You haven't tried living with her. Yes, although Patrick Furlong is a little bit biased, he says mainly because she's a good friend of mine. Will you stop it? Look, come on, there's some people trying to enjoy the trains there. And
yeah, you are.
Because you're going to end up breaking something, and once you break something, I'm going to get very annoyed, and I'm going to go downstairs, and I'm going to use Rule of Rose to...
Somerset Andy says he found his old Amiga 1200 in the loft. Tried as soon to see if it still works. Good luck, it should still work. They're very, very good machines.
Oh, wow.
Quite reliable.
If you don't want it, I know somebody
If you
who
have
will.
an issue with it and it doesn't seem to turn on, the best thing to do is to change
Turn it off and turn it back on again?
Get a modern power supply, because the Commodore ones don't always last, and see whether it works then. But yeah, Amiga 1200s are brilliant. Very good pieces of equipment.
D827 Kelly says, the point is that on a tablet or phone screen, Jenny's camera is very small, hence the bigger picture in the other cameras.
Well, it's a quarter of the screen. I don't know what else we could do.
Mark Wilson, Zoe, during... Oh, sorry, we've read that one. Yeah, the Attic Monster.
Shackleton says he's got an Amstrad CPC 464 and a CRT in the loft. Get it out, they're great! They're great machines, still wonderful.
Robert Scott, Wiven Model Railway says, hello, Teddy. Ham Shackleton said, there's that bear again. I think I'm well behind on the comments here. Yeah, Adrian Chesterton. I like the look of the new Helgen 33 and Kerno's special test livery. That's a bit intercity executive style. There really are some great looking Class 33s announced. So I am going to get a 33. It's just simply a case of getting the money together. I'll have to start my Jenny Needs a Class 33 fund. Yeah. Mark Wilson says, good night, my ducks. It's getting late in the Kingdom of Leicestershire. Oh, well, look, you take care. It's been great having you aboard. Don't forget to click that like button, and that goes out to everybody as well. Click the like button. Don't forget to share it too. And that goes for share it whilst we're on air. Let people know about what we're doing. And also a big thank you to Simon A.C. Martin, who we had on as a guest earlier on. Flymo Chairman 1, DCC 125 is a decent series of films of this year's Scottish Model Rail exhibition on here. Brian Harper, does the Deltic go any faster? Yes, but we talked a little bit about this before. The problem is the faster they go, the louder they get, which means that it becomes very noisy in here.
But when we get the new microphones, we'll sort that out.
Diesel 1313 says, when are the Helgen Class 45s due out? I couldn't tell you actually, but oh, I did see a piece of news. I was going to share it with you guys. That was it. Some of the new liveries of the Class 33 are imminent. So there's certainly 3 or 4 of them spread out across blue and green pre and post tops. Are actually imminent in the shops. The other interesting thing is that Daypol have announced an all-new, I think it's a Hall class, which will be very interesting to see. So looking forward to that. Certainly the Hall has been done by Hornby's done it, and Bachmann as well. So it's a very crowded market, so I'll be very intrigued to see what the new Daypol Hall is actually like. But I've got every faith, based on the quality of some of the recent products that we've reviewed here, and do go back and look through the channel at some of those recent reviews, because we've done some, there's just so many great products coming through, it has to be said. But I've got every faith that the Daypol model will most likely become the definitive Hall class. Patrick Furlong, oh, don't give Zoe any ideas. Andrew Weaver says, hi Jenny, I've just joined the Birmingham MRC. Oh gosh, am I well behind? Yeah, I think Simon and I already touched on this. Oxford Rail. I recommend Oxford Rail because they're a really great model, but they can be bought fairly cheaply. If you want something really basic and almost disposable, get yourself to your local model shop or indeed any show. Look out for the boxes of old, cheap wagons and just grab yourself some of those just to practice on.
Practice makes perfect. You have to learn how to do things wrong before you do things right.
Richard Swidarski says, "Hi Jenny and Zoe, did you know Lidl are selling retro Atari game console on Thursday or Sunday?"
No, I didn't.
No, she didn't, but she will be looking that one up.
Thursday or Sunday?
Ham Shackleton, to Game Hammer Classic Gaming, that's you.
Yes.
My wife, now deceased, sorry to hear that, used to play Oh Mummy on it for hours.
I love that game. Tune in on Tuesday, we'll be playing it.
So, anyway, what other news is afoot? Well, hopefully by next week we're going to get the whole of this setup sorted out. We've got on order a duplicate of the microphone and sound desk that we use downstairs to get really good sound. It'll also mean that we can put phone calls on air, all that kind of thing. And hopefully that will sort out a lot of the microphone issues that we've experienced. And that may even take away some of the overhead from the cameras, because you can then turn the microphones off on those cameras, can't you?
The microphones aren't even on those cameras.
So what's actually picking up the sound?
Just the one that's pointed at you.
Okay, interesting. So, what else do we need to do? We're going to get a microphone on like one of those radio studio type thingamajigs as well. And eventually I'm going to sort out lighting in the fiddle yard as well, so we'll be able to show stuff going on there. Patrick Furlong says, "I've got a Lidl across the road from my flat." Wardle Road. A big hello to you, Ollie. It's great to see you. And he says, "Jenny, you're really taking this to the next level. When we iron out the wrinkles, it really will properly be at the next level, because we have multiple cameras, but for whatever reason, they're being finicky when we change between them. So we've got to iron that out. They worked just fine yesterday."
Yeah, there must be an issue tonight.
But thank you very much. Wardle Road, incidentally, just like to put it out there, I did mention in yesterday's test stream, Wardle Road gave me the idea for actually how to make this sort of setup work. When he came round and visited, did an interview with me and stayed for the Jenny Monday Club, he did actually show me the idea behind this, using pretty much the same cameras and the setup, doing a separate stream for people to be able to watch the trains going by, and that has given me the impetus to get this all up and running. So are we going to dare changing camera angle?
Come on. Control Shift 1?
Control Shift 1.
Or Control Shift 2?
Control Shift 2. So you get your hotkeys that aren't quite...
No, because I haven't clicked on the thing and it'll still not work.
So that's just weird. Right, just bear with us.
Give me a moment. You stay on camera and entertain the nice people.
Right, and then you might have to switch and switch back. Yeah, because it's the USB address. It's having the lights not come on, so Control Shift 1. The lights come on, and there it is.
It just takes a moment.
Control Shift 2.
There it is.
There it is. So, I think there's some kind of driver issue going on.
Yeah.
So there we are. They're the two working cameras, plus the third camera that's showing me.
We're going to have a roving camera.
And there is a fourth camera down in the fiddle yard, but as of this moment in time...
It's a bit of a fiddle to use it.
Well, there's no light down there, and we're going to need to have a little poke around. But certainly, yeah. We're also planning on another camera back here, looking down on the locomotive area. Although saying that, actually, from here, that camera does actually... I'm not sure, but we'll put it on a back burner, shall we?
Well, we've got one coming. I'm thinking we use that as a roving camera.
Possibly, on the end of that USB extension cable.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, because you just plug it into the front of the computer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactamundo.
Because what you need with that is a stand to mount it on, so you can just put it where knocking about. Excuse me. Where's my phone gone? There you go.
Teddy's got
We're
a word.
Stanton Junction. Great stream, Jenny. See you all next week. Bye, everyone. Bye to you. It's been great having you
Teddy
along.
needs a word.
Oh no, we can't do that to the cupboard monkey. I mean, who would clear up the mess?
That's true. I have to clear up the mess, Teddy.
But bye to you. Take care. I know it is a school night, and we're coming actually very close to 10 o'clock, which is usually our cut-off point. Charles Sunny says, bye, Rachel, at Wistaton Junction. Flymo Chairman 1 says, Wistaton Junction, good night. Ham Shackleton says, reminds me of the old saying, the light is on, but there's nobody home. Yeah, I think it's a driver issue. We're going to have to sort that out. Ozza says, just get a Wi-Fi camera. Nah, there's other issues at play with the streaming. J94 asks, Jenny, have you watched Series 3 of Yorkshire Steam Railway on Channel 5? I haven't. I don't watch telly. We don't have the means to watch telly live. Will you stop annoying the nice people on the channel who are trying to watch trains and really don't want to see my old teddy bear?
Yeah, they do.
Richard Swiderski says, just check Thursday, 5th of March. Put that in your diary. Atari Plug and Play game console in Lidl. Love the new look. Thank you very much.
I'll see if I can pop over there.
It's been a long time in the making, but it's Wardle Road that gave us the swift kick to the buttocks that kind of made us think, actually, yeah, we can do this. So, what else we got? Patrick Furlong is apparently enjoying this. Gosh, I'm doing something somebody enjoys. Patrick Furlong says, keep up the...
At some point.
Oh no, I'm not going to read that one out. Don't give her any ideas.
What?
But yeah, if anybody was asking any other questions earlier on, then do ask them again, because I missed a lot of your questions at the start because we were struggling a bit with technical issues, and I've done a lot of talking with Simon as well.
Yeah, well, we have to interview. Otherwise, what's the point of having a guest on?
Yeah.
Right, so I'm going to leave you to it.
Are you really?
Yeah, because there's no chair for me up here, and I'm sick of sitting on the floor.
Well,
she makes me sit on the floor and fix all the cameras.
Why didn't you bring a chair up?
Because that would have meant effort.
Yeah, because effort. I'll give you a shout. When the stream's done, you can come up and work out
actually,
what's
it's 10 to 10, I'll hang around.
Somerset Andy says, I have to go now. Thanks for the fun again. You're absolutely welcome. It's been great to have you on. Also, everybody, don't forget my books are still available through allmousemedia.com. And as well, Teespring has a range of mugs. And hopefully the Cupboard Monkey will finally be getting round to adding in a range of T-shirts. So look out for those too.
She gave me a little time off and I was able to work out some ideas.
Andrew Weaver says, I think Hornby Livestream would look great on your layout. Is that something you would consider getting? I have to be honest and say the trouble with Hornby Livestream is it's not really compatible with running other things on. So it's not something that's on the cards.
Your other big issue is that this is a large layout, but it's an enclosed space.
It would just be steam that it gives off.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is an enclosed space. Do you want a lot of steam up there?
I don't think it would work.
You could have a headache earlier on just doing soldering.
D827 Kelly is off. Good night to you. It's been great having you on. We're starting to lose a few people. We're down to 144 people on the actual watching it live.
Yeah,
it is
it's
getting
5
quite
to
late.
10.
So what we're going to do is we're going to round off now. So look, it's been great having your company. Thanks for sticking with us through all of the teething problems that we've been having. It's always the same when you embrace new technology. I can remember opening day at a radio station, doing a show with bits of equipment failing left, right and centre. And we ended up, I think we actually ended up playing music off Sonifex carts simply because CD players stopped working, then the preamp on one of the turntables stopped working. And it was just, oh man, that was one heck of a day. But these things happen, and we iron them out,
and then you look back on them and laugh because you got through it.
Yeah, and that's it. You look back and you think, why did we struggle? So we're going to sort out all the problems, but it's been great having your company. I hope you've enjoyed these new camera angles that we've got going on here. We are going to refine the format, but great to have your company. We'll be back with the live stream next Monday at the usual time. I don't know who the guest's going to be, but we're going to sort that out over the next week, and hopefully everything will work just fine. But until next time, you all take really good care of yourself. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video, and others too. Have a look back through the channel. We've got an awful lot of videos, how-to guides, reviews and just trains going by. We've got a lot of great videos coming up as well. We've got which one has the castle class has gone up.
All kinds of stuff that you've been asking me to film and edit. That's my job tomorrow.
Yeah, so we've got reviews coming on Wednesday and Saturday, and also on Friday we have got I have filmed it, but I can't remember what it is. So we've got lots of great videos coming, and anyway, it's been great having your company. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to pop on into the Jenny Monday Club. Don't forget as well that you can catch me and the rest of the team from Great Model Railway Challenge displaying the Rail Riders War of the Worlds layout at Alexandra Palace on, I think it's the 21st and 22nd of March. And you can catch up with us there. But until next time, this is me, Jenny Kirk, saying take great care of yourself. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
It's the awkward bit now where we try and work out how to turn it off.
Okay, bye-bye.